When you build a dish, it's like almost walking through life. All the layering of life that you love, that you feel needs to get into your food. I want to use food as a language. I want to use food as a way to change people's way of looking at things. I want to use food to be able to better this world. I'm considering myself as being a rebel, period. Obviously, I'm a chef, but I'm also a human. I'm a woman, I'm an activist, I'm a lover, I'm a fighter. I don't really like the convention of things. I want people to think before to do things. I want kindness, I want respect in the world, and I feel that we're not there yet. And so maybe I do things differently, but I do things because I want change to happen. I'm here to just bring back what matters and bring that beautiful gift that we've been giving from Earth and cook it and make it delicious so people understand the need and the importance of vegetable and eating vegetable. I remember when I was very young, I picked up a tomato in the garden and I was just blown away by the taste. Often vegetables have been treated as secondary, it's never been a star on the plate. Whether you're a meat eater, a vegetarian, a pescatarian, this class is for you, I assure you. I was so lucky to grow up in this beautiful country called France. My parents, both of them come from farmers. My mom was an amazing cook. My grandmother was an amazing cook. At a very young age, I was taught to understand the connection with nature, to understand dishes of my grandmother sitting down with her. My grandmother's farm, it was located in Brittany. She had a potato farm. And the first time I came on the farm, and I was very young, I was during the summer when they were harvesting potato, and I saw my uncles just working really hard and picking up one by one those potatoes to make sure they were getting the right one. And I saw the sweat and hours on the field, through a very hot summer. And I understood how hard those tasks were. So I remember the following summer, my dad and my mother asked me where I wanted to spend summer. You want to go to a camp? And I said, no. I want to go and work on the field because I want to learn. And that was hard work. I remember those faces in front of me of all those sweat and wrinkle and dirt. And that was what was beautiful about it. I was just blown away by it. And I thought that those people should be celebrated. And so that's how I understood that farmers are the rock star and farmers are the key of the change that we need to have. I was always fascinated by the cooking, the team, the symphony of it. But going into a cooking school was not something that was kind of welcome for a young woman like me. And so I just went through business school and economy, and I was struggling to be able to find creativity in the way that I wanted to express myself. So I came to America in California with the help of my parents, and coming to San Francisco, I realized that was my destiny. Atelier means workshop in English, and Atelier Crenn is named after my dad, Atelier Papa Crenn. A workshop means, for me, it's where you bring creativity, you craft, but you also exchange. And that's what I wanted to create, the place that can enable anybody creativity, but also a safe place, a place where people work as a team, people are respected and respect others. It was really celebrating the teaching of my dad through the years and bringing that to the forefront in a setting where we are serving food. I use food as a language. Food is a connector for me, but also the food allows me to become an artist. Food is a power of change to be able to better this world. Was I proud of myself? Hell yeah! As a chef, getting a 3 Michelin star was absolutely amazing. Woman kick ass. That's what my dad told me. He said, you gotta be confident, you gotta go out there, you gotta know that nobody is better than you and you're not better than anyone, but you could just go out there and just kick some ass because, you know, you are beautiful, strong female. I'm often referred as a female chef or the first female chef that have won 3 Michelin stars in the United States. It's a bit tricky to try to deal with that type of narrative. Being a chef, there's no masculinity or no femininity. And what I've been trying to explain to people that the skill that you have doesn't have to do anything with your sex. Anyone can be a chef. Just be the person you want to be. It was a dream of mine. I was lucky enough to get this piece of land and create my own farm in Sonoma. Let's do the tomato walk.
Oh, wow.
I will teach you about seasonal vegetables. I really hope that I can inspire you to connect better with vegetables and your farmers and maybe grow your own vegetable. You gotta know where your food comes from. Today, we're gonna cook beautiful dishes that I hope that you enjoy and you can get to know who I am also through them. So I'm gonna be using vegetables and fruit that can easily be found like tomato, cabbage, melon, leeks. Pretty easy and delicious vegetable that you probably already know. So I'm gonna teach you some modern technique. We're gonna have a lot of fun. You can bring the best of the vegetable if you understand the way to cook them. And when you make it right, it's so delicious and it can stand next to any other entrees. So the menu we serve in the restaurant is served in the form of a poem. I write poetry for every dish that we present, and I created a poem for masterclass just for you. And you will have a poem attached to all those dishes that we will show you. Personally, poetry and the poem allow me to have a much deeper meaning than just describing the dish to you. So everything has a reason, everything has a story. Why not to do poetry? So even the menu order has a story. The dishes we are making in this class are listed in the way you could eat them in a typical tasting menu to experience the journey. We will start with your first course dishes, followed by the second course. Then we will transition to the entrees and finish with the cheese course. And on top of that, I'm gonna give you a little surprise. I'm gonna give you some bonus recipe that can be found in the class cookbook. The idea is to not waste anything. Some of the recipe gonna be broken in different stages. It's gonna be up to you if you wanna go all the way and use all those recipes, or you can also use a part of those recipes to make sample dishes. It's gonna be a lot of fun and it's gonna elevate your cooking as those techniques had elevated my cooking. Cooking is about bringing and layering flavors, and when you know a little bit of different recipe, you can add those recipes to other things. So that's what I want to teach you, giving you the tool to expand your creativity. for everyone. It doesn't matter your experiences in the kitchen. What I want to do is to invite you to really understand and appreciate vegetable on a deeper level. And now, I am inviting you to my class. I'm Dominique Crenn. Je m'appelle Dominique Crenn, and this is Say Masterclass. Okay, so now I'm gonna walk you through some essential tools that you might need in the kitchen. But remember, the best tool in life is you. Your senses, your eyes, your taste, your creativity, and your confidence. But you also need materials. All right, so I'm gonna be showing you tools that I have in my kitchen. Some might look familiar to you, some might not. In overall, they might make your life easier. Once again, all those tools will be shown through the sequences of recipe that we're gonna do with you guys. I'm gonna also be showing you some alternative, because sometimes you might not be able to get those tools, so I just don't want you to be worried. We can do in both ways. The first one that I like to use and I have in my kitchen is the peeler. It's fun. You can find a peeler anywhere, any stores. I like different color. We have about 5 colors in my kitchen at home. I have 2 kids, so they can fight over. I love that. Then my little tweezer. Why I use tweezer? You know, when you use your hand, I think it's very important to just cook with your hand. I love it. And sometimes there is moisture that happen, you know, with your finger and hand. So it's nice to have a little tweezer to make sure the detail is nice and you can pick up whatever you want to pick up. So here we have a melon baller, which is great. I love this because I can form with different type of fruit. It's perfect for working with fruit and vegetables. I like to use unique tools like this that you don't normally see when cooking with meats. What I love to use that in the kitchen is I can give that to my kids, and so they don't have to use a knife and they can, you know, make bowl of whatever they want, especially with fruit. One of the knives that I love to use is a paring knife. I think most of you guys might have that also in your kitchen, which is, you know, allow you to maybe be more detailed on things you want to peel or to cut. So it can allow you to be very creative and to create things that are beautiful too. A chef's knife is very important, but it's also very subjective. The way that you choose a knife, it needs to be your knife, the way you feel with it, the weight of it, the way that you use it. So I can't tell you, there's a lot of brand out there, but it needs to feel good in your hand. Make sure that your knife is always sharp, otherwise it's not gonna be good for you. You might hurt yourself. Ladle is also something that I use a lot in the kitchen. There is also a hand blender that helped me a lot to form soup. This is tool that I always have on hand in my kitchen. Spatula and whisk. They allow me to be more precise, to scrape whatever I'm doing. But this is, you know, a hand tool that I love to carry anywhere I go. And then we're gonna go to the cookie cutter. What I love about this is allow you to do different shape that you want. So detailed, we're gonna be using that in a recipe or two. This is one of the tools that I always have in my kitchen, just because I like form and I like also things sometimes nice and perfect. You know, I'm working on an induction here. Not everybody has induction. You might have, you know, just gas stove. So you just have to be very careful when you cook. Just maybe just really pay attention of the flame, high or low or medium. So in my kitchen also, I love to use wood cutting board. Obviously out there, there's a lot of different type of brand. There is also a lot of different material. I do love wood. And there's one reason, it's because it's better for the knife. But once again, cutting board is subjective, so this is what we love to use in the kitchen. So those are some of my kitchen staple tools we will use throughout these recipes. But there is also specialty equipment you should have. Let's talk about those. Okay, so here we have a tammy and then we have a pastry scraper. I love it because it allows me to refine my purees and some other things, so I love to use that. In front of me, I have two types of scale. We have a gram scale here that allows us to be very precise on small amount of hydrocolloid ingredient, the way that we want to weigh, and you can find that also online. This is the kitchen scale that is often much more popular, obviously accuracy, but also allow us to weigh a liquid. So two scales, more precise here and more for liquid. And that's what we use in the restaurant, and that makes our life easy, and I hope that can make your life easier also, because precision and weight are very important in those type of recipe we're gonna show you. I use hydrocolloid often in modern cooking. They help you to do gel, emulsifying, and other things and form, and we're gonna be using some of those through the recipe that we're gonna show you today. So don't be too intimidated about this. It's pretty easy, and it's been used in a lot of places that perhaps you don't know, that you might discover that's like, oh, of course, there is hydrocolloid in this. So that's what is hydrocolloid is. This is one of my favorite tools, mandolin. Helps you to chef things properly. This could be dangerous sometimes. Thermometer, you can use that to take your temperature also, but it's very precise to get your temperature, especially with the oil. Strainer, I love strainer because it allows you to strain things. Often I use also a coffee filter and I just put it in the strainer and it gave me some beautiful clear liquid. Okay, so on my right I have a cheesecloth that we use a lot in the kitchen. It allows you to strain things so thin and properly and clear. It reminds me of what my grandmother used to use at the farm, which was a tea towel, and I was mesmerized when she used to put liquid in it, and then the liquid just came out so clear. And so it's the first time kind of an interaction with it. So, but this is one of the tools that we're using in my kitchen, but in our kitchen in the restaurant. Gloves are very important too. Obviously, when you cook, you need to make sure that you work in a clean area, but you need to make sure that your hands are clean often. But sometimes you need to wear gloves that will allow you to not get stain on your hand. We're gonna do some recipe with vegetable that might give you some stains, so I love gloves. And then a smoker. Smoking gun, you can buy it online, anywhere. But you know, if you don't have a smoking gun, you can smoke things in a more primitive way. We can walk you through with that. We have a lighter here. Obviously, this lighter is precisely for the smoking gun. And then we have a blender. It's a Vitamix. But if you don't have a Vitamix, we can use a regular blender. And this one is a little bit more expensive, but once again, we use it because it allows you to kind of eat up the mixture, and it's great to make oil and other things and purees. And this one, juicer. So in the ancient, time, you didn't have juicer. You juice everything by hand. I love it. I love doing it by hand, but this is great. Also in the morning, you wake up, get your green juice, whatever. So that, I love to use this. And I love to grill, but I'm very specific on my grilling. I love to use hibachi grill, which is a Japanese grill. This type of charcoal that we're using with this grill is called bichutan. You have to use the bichutan charcoal. This is very ancient. This is high heat, not a lot of smoke, and it just do wonder on your food. The Japanese have been using that forever. It's very clean, it's better for you, it's better for your health also. And this is one of my favorite ways to do it. and it allows us to really bring the flavor and the layering of vegetable or whatever we're grilling on this. You can find this anywhere. It could be a little bit expensive, but you know, we're also going to show you that you can do it with whatever grill that you have at your home. But I think this is one of the most cleaner way to grill anything. But that is my own view on this. So there you go. Even though we are talking about essential tools, I want to get you inspired to add flowers, herbs, and microgreens to your pantry too. All right, welcome to the greenhouse at Bleu Belle Farm. Look at those beautiful herbs. I'm a big fan of microgreens. Opal basil, kale, shiso, pea shoot, arugula, parsley. First of all, you can go to the farmer market. You can ask your farmers. Don't be intimidated to buy some. And the beauty of this, you can find those 365 days a year. Or you can grow anything you want. This is an amazing way of enhancing your dish from spicy to more floral, and you can have a lot of fun with it. You can make also, you can add them to just a regular salad and you just bring a different layering. So get your microgreen and enjoy. So I do believe that everyone can be able to cook. It could be intimidated at the beginning. You know, there is a lot of classes out there. There is a lot of things you can read. But remember, cooking comes from within. And what we're going to give you today is the tool, perhaps, to bring the love that you have inside of you, to bring it to the plate. So I know you can do it, and we're going to do it together. It's going to be a lot of fun. Are you guys ready? Okay. In the sunlit garden are ruby treasures of the earth. The first time I ate a tomato, I was, I don't know, maybe 4 years old. I went down to my grandmother's garden and I picked up a tomato from the garden. And I think I've done it many times before, but that moment stayed with me forever. I just picked a tomato, put it in my mouth like I was eating an apple, and then suddenly it just, the layering, the flavor, it was just an explosion of flavor, and I felt different. Tomato is one of my favorite. Could be a vegetable, it could be a fruit, and is something that I love to cook with. So today we're gonna bring you a little bit of my recipe and my love and my memory to these dishes. What's beautiful about it also is you're gonna learn more about the tomato. It's just not just the regular tomato, which usually often look like red and just, you know, kind of round like this, but you have like different color. You get the heirloom, you get the, I mean, it's just fantastic, from black to yellow to red. And it's just an array of color and different tastes also. So I want also to talk a little bit about tomato and seasonality of the tomato. Growing up in France, often we have tomato during the summer. That's when we could eat tomato. I remember when I came in the United States, I was a little bit confused about that tomato was available, you know, year round. So I want to make sure, I just want to make a point. Tomato, it's a summer vegetable or fruit. So make sure that when you want to do something with tomato, make sure that you go into the farmer market, you talk to your farmers. If you want to can tomato, buy a lot of tomato during the summer, and then you can use them during the winter. But the best tomato, I often during the summer. Seasonal is very important when you do a recipe. Just choose your product at the time the product is at its peak. You can use them raw, you can roast them, you can pickle them, you can make sauce out of it, you can grill them. You can ferment them, you can make beautiful tomato water with it. I mean, this is the ultimate vegetable fruit that you need to have on your pantry, but seasonally. In this and following chapters, we are going to make 3 stages of a tomato dish that you can progress with, along with other beautiful vegetable-forward dishes. Now we are going to enhance the tomato. This version is great for those who have limited time but still want to make an impressive dish. We will dehydrate tomato skin and flesh to make petals, then make tomato powder. We will plate the petals, sprinkle them with the powder from the skins, and garnish with seasonal herbs and flowers. You can make a beautiful plate with these components or eat them as a snack. So we're gonna start with doing petal. What you wanna do is literally we wanna dehydrate the skin and the flesh of the tomato, marinate it in a little bit of garlic, shallot, thyme, and olive oil, and put it in a dehydrator or in an oven if you don't have it. And dehydrating is just removing the moisture from the ingredient by cooking it on low heat, which will give it a crispy texture and intensify its flavors. So the first thing is you have to have a pot with boiling water here going. You want to do an incision on the bottom of the tomato so it will be easier to peel. And then you want to blanch it. But what you want to do, blanching tomato doesn't mean cooking tomato. You can really pay attention to it because when it's blanching, you're going to see it's going to start to separate. And when it starts to separate, this is when the tomato is ready to go. So when I put the tomato in the water right now, I'm going to bring my ice bowl here so I'm ready to go. And I'm using one of my slotted spoons. If you don't have this, you can use any spider or anything you want. Just don't burn yourself. So you just go around. You see here? The tomato skin is starting to peel off. This is perfect. So once again, you don't want to cook the tomato, you just want to blanch them. Okay, split for a second. So you just have to wait like maybe like a minute. You always want to take the excess of water. Anything you blanch, make sure it's cold. I think that's pretty good. And the variety of those tomatoes, it's called early girl. I love early girls. I think they have the most flavor. We use them a lot at the restaurant. You know, the flesh is very dense and I think firm. And when we dehydrate it, so when you dehydrate something, which I love that technique, what it does, it kind of really concentrates the flavors of the product that you dehydrate. It's kind of a little tip to add to the layering of anything you do, you know. So instead of just making your tomato salad, you add a little bit of dehydrating tomato and it just brings the dish to the next level. You can also, you know, when you go to the market and you see those, those tomatoes that have been, dehydrated tomato in olive oil, when you taste them, the flavor is so intense. So I really love it. And I like to add it to any dishes that I do. So you just want to take the skin off the tomato. You can do that with your hand. You can do that with your knife. Kind of like to be kind of organic and kind of use my finger to do this. It's a lot of fun. It's beautiful. It's like you go from the top and you peel that gently to the bottom of it. It's nice to use your finger when you cook because it connects you back to the product that you deal with and the delicateness that you have to do when you cook, you know. And make sure you don't press too hard on the tomato, otherwise the juice, you see, the juice can come out. All right, so here we have this beautiful, and then we are going to marinate it, and then we will dehydrate that in the oven So what you want to do, just lay it down on a sheet pan, parchment paper under it. First, we are gonna dehydrate the skin, which is beautiful. That can be a beautiful snack, watching TV, watching a show, or watching masterclass, which is a good idea. And we are separating the tomato on 2 trays because we are going to dehydrate both the skin and the meaty-looking flesh of the tomato. And the reason why I'm not mixing those two, because I just want this to be more organized. So you just kind of be a little bit of garlic, shallot, a little bit of thyme on this, olive oil. You can use, if you want, a brush, but I'm just going fast here. You can put a little bit of salt, which I love. The salt is gonna also bring the flavor. So this is the first. The second one, you just wanna cut it in quarter. So you kind of want to take the inside of the tomato. I don't like to waste things. So what you want to do is take the seeds out, and we are going to use the trim later on in the tomato evolved chapter. You can also take one technique and just use it just for another dish, which is great. You don't have to use a big knife. You can use just a paring knife. You just go down nicely and gently here, so you cut everything out. This, we can use it to make a dressing. We can do it to make the tomato water. Everything we're showing you here, it's to help you to reuse everything else. So the idea is watching my grandmother cooking, and she never wastes anything. And somehow we lost that sense of keeping everything, and everything is eatable. So just going back to that, so you just take out this. All right, so anyway, do this, do the same thing here, and then a little bit of thyme. Okay, a bit of salt, a bit of olive oil, and then you dehydrate this. So if you don't have a dehydrator, put it in the oven. The lower temperature of the oven. And once again, it depends on the oven. It could take maybe 25, an hour, 2 hours. You just have to look at, I like to do it for a long time. You can check if it's dry. If it's not dry, you just keep it more longer. And so it's pretty easy. But make sure that it's the lower temperature of your oven. All right, so here we have the dehydrated tomato skin. Let me tell you what you can do with it. You can make a tomato powder, the grinder, coffee grinder. Make sure that that tomato skin is very, very dry. Add it to tomato salad, or even if you do a tomato sorbet, just add it on top. It's absolutely delicious. And if you use an oven instead of a dehydrator, your tomato skins will look something like this. And remember, the tomato flesh, we dehydrated like the skin. Well, you can add those to a plate or make a creative design. Then garnish with tomato powder, flowers, and herbs of your choice, like basil leaves, basil buds, and marigold if you want flowers. Just be creative. So I hope you enjoy. Tomato. Look at this, amazing. So let's look over the tomato. I'm gonna show you later how to confit them. Confit is cooking slowly in a fat. This is how you need to pick your tomato. You gotta look at the color of the tomato and just touch them a little bit. If they're too mushy, then maybe they went too far. If they're too hard, then this is not the right one. You want them to be enough. See, I push. Oh yeah, it's bouncing. This is perfect, you know. If I take one that is not, see, this one is not ready. It's hard. It's hard, and do you hear that? That's not good. It's very sour, it's very tart. In the tomato and hand chapter, I showed you how to dehydrate tomato petals. We will use those here and illuminate the tomatoes with a confit technique. For the plated dish, I will put the tomato confit in a bowl, add in vinaigrette, top with tomato petals, and garnish with herbs and flowers. I'm going to show you how to make a tomato confit. Beautiful sun-gold tomato. Look at those babies. Okay, once again, it's very important. You know, before you do anything, you always have to test your product. It's delicious. So what I did first, I kind of peeled them the same way. I used the same technique from the tomato and hand chapter. I made the incisions, blanched, shocked, and then peeled the tomatoes. You can see there's no skin. They're still firm. So what you want to do is to make sure that when you blanch them, and they could be very small, so it's pretty tricky sometimes. Maybe you want to blanch the smaller one first and then blanch the bigger ones. Just a little trick. Don't blanch them all of them together, so you can separate it, and size matter, especially for this. Not always, but especially for this. Anyway, I'm going to show you how to do a confit. So what is confit? In a cooking world, is cooking slowly in a fat. So we're going to use oil, grapeseed oil, or could do also with olive oil, but I like grapeseed oil, a little bit of aromatic to it, and then just go to the oven. So first, taking a baking pan, you know, just lay your tomato nicely. Kind of spread them out. Beautiful tomato, they're very sweet. This is one of my favorites, by the way. Just spray a little bit of, you know, obviously you see I'm using a lot of shallot. Shallot is something that I love to cook with. It's a part of my culture, my DNA. So love them. Bit of garlic, lemon, basil. But once again, whatever aromatic you want, you can put thyme, rosemary, marjoram, whatever, sage. And then you just pour nicely, a little bit of salt, of course, because I love salt. And then you just go around it. I like to put on the side, so I don't really suck the tomato on from the top, and just go around. And then gently. And the oil should cover everything. So once again, confit is not gonna like overcook the tomato. Confit needs to cook gently, literally, the tomato. What I'm showing you a lot, I love slow cooking, because slow cooking brings the flavor so much better than when you just eat it with fire or like a hot oven. And it's much more delicate to your palate, and the flavor is amazing. So now it's, once again, lower setting. Confit that at 250 to 300 degrees. Could be even lower if you want to go lower. And it's about an hour and a half, it depends, you know. Once again, you have to watch you cooking. What I'm giving you, it's just the basic, and it's really up to you to gauge what's best. So we're gonna put that in the oven right now. All right, I'm back. It was about an hour. This is what I'm looking for. The color is still there. I mean, this is what you want. Look at the beautiful tomato. Just magnificent. They have softened to the touch, but still maintain their hold, and you can still pick them up. You can also try one. Obviously, you need to try one. I need to try one right now. Take the excess of, I put it. It's delicious. It's cooked. It's still a little bit of firm. Melt in my mouth, though. It's what you want. If this come out of the oven and everything is dark and black, then there's a problem. You're sitting where too high, and you just have to do it again. But don't throw away the tomato. You can enjoy it on its own on top of rice or pasta, but don't throw away anything. Now we are going to make a vinaigrette. And we're going to use the oil of the tomato confit. So remember, now it's not just oil, it's also the flavor of shallot, garlic, a little bit of lemon, but also a little bit of tomato water that got inside of it. The key of this also is to reuse everything. You have just amazing flavor here. So what you want to do is just, I'm just getting the oil here, just leave it. Then you just want to whisk it with a little bit of, I love sherry vinegar. Why I love sherry vinegar? There's a couple of vinegar that I love. I love banyul, I love sherry, because there is a nuttiness to sherry vinegar and the high acidity. And it's going to also help to break the fat of the oil also. So for me, when you do tomato vinaigrette, you need a strong vinegar. I'm going to be very honest with you. I'm not a fan of balsamic vinegar, but I think sherry and banyul are one of the best vinegar out there for me. Okay. You can follow the recipe or you can make your own vinaigrette. Some people like high acid. Often, you want to think about 2-to-1, 2 oil and 1 vinegar, but that's kind of maybe the basic, but you can do whatever you want to do. Once again, you are the cook. This is your little bit of pepper, salt. Okay, so you emulsify. This is an emulsified vinaigrette. You want to try it, of course. It's nice and thick. It's acidic. It's going to coat all the tomato, the sweetness of the tomato against the acidity and the fat of the oil. That's going to be beautiful. This is tomato illuminated. To assemble, you put the sun gold tomato confit in a bowl, add the vinaigrette we just made, top with tomato petal from the tomato enhanced chapter, and garnish with herbs and flowers. This is easy to make. It brings so much of flavor. It's unbelievable. Simplicity is the best in a dish, yet also layering the flavors. What we do in outside of San Francisco on my farm, Bluebell Farm, we grow a lot of tomato from sweet 100 bigger heirloom tomatoes. So we have like a lot of different variety. And we do this because we want to create a different layering on any dishes that we prepare. We want to showcase and really celebrate different layering and taste of tomatoes. So now we are going to evolve the tomato. This is the most complex version of the tomato. I showed you how to dehydrate and confit tomatoes in Tomato Enhance and illuminated chapters. Now we will add more techniques by creating marinated tomato, tomato water, and gel. We'll serve this with a seasoned crème fraîche sauce to make an even more elaborate dish to enjoy. All right, this next step, we are going to just slice some tomato, marinate them, and that's gonna be, and they wanna run right now, they don't wanna be cut. So just take beautiful tomato. So today we are using 3 tomato varieties, Early Girls, Sun Gold, and Heirloom tomatoes, to make this evolved dish, which incorporates what we made in the Tomato Enhance and illuminated chapters. So, you know, they're ready, yet they're a little bit firm. You don't want them to be too soft. Make sure that you wash them first. And then you just slice them, whatever thickness you want. So first, you want to take the back of it. So you just look at this. This is beautiful. I think this is thick enough. You can go thicker if you want. Just be gentle with it. And you just want to kind of lay them around. And what we're gonna do here, we're gonna size. I like to put salt because salt for a second is gonna really bring the beautiful flavor of the tomato. So we're gonna let it sit for a second. And what's gonna happen, you're gonna see some water, liquids coming out of the tomato. And this is, you know, this is when you can add your vinegar and your olive oil and your lemon. Like this. See, this little bit of water. So the salt, you can see it's kind of dissolving into it. And then you just marinate them. What I like to do is a little bit of lemon. Pepper. A touch of vinegar to bring more acidity. See, you see, and I love acidity on acidity. Love it. And then just a little bit of any type of beautiful extra virgin olive oil. Okay, and let it sit. I love to marinate my tomato an hour before serving because you get all the flavor and the juice and the layering to it. First of all, when you buy a tomato, never put a tomato in the fridge. Always be room temperature. So let it sit. You can, obviously, if you have a guest, you can cover it and just let it sit for like an hour before your guests come and before we build this recipe. Okay, so the next step of the recipe, you know, with all the trim that we had and the kind of the leftover tomato, I'm gonna show you how to do a tomato water. Often, tomato water, you get the tomato and you kind of mix them with garlic, shallot, and kind of blend it together and can let it hang overnight on a cheesecloth over a container. Well, I'm gonna show you something that I do, which is a little bit different and give you also beautiful tomato water. So I use all the trim. I took some tomato and I juiced them. So you have a juicer. And then, so what's gonna happen, you're gonna have all these juice and then you're also gonna have pulp that's gonna come out on the other side. This, you can put that on the side. You can dry that out and make also a powder out of it. So once again, it's such a versatile, you know, fruit or vegetable. You know, some people say fruit or vegetable. That's what I wanna make sure that I say that. And you can do so many things with it and you don't have to waste anything. When I juice them, I have this beautiful red liquid. What I'm gonna do with it, I'm gonna bring the liquid to a simmer. And what's gonna happen when I simmer it, this that you see, the red, all of this, those tomatoes, is gonna separate it. And then we're gonna have the tomato water under it, and then we're gonna put it through a coffee filter. But you don't want to boil this, okay? You want to simmer it enough so it's gonna be a separation. I drink literally the tomato water in the morning when I wake up, when I make tomato water, and it's absolutely delicious. Sometimes I put and add a little bit of maybe basil oil to it, and it's so good for you. And what's gonna happen when I simmer it? A little bit bubblier. Okay, so it's starting to get warm. So I am gonna show you the setup. You make sure you're ready for it. Strainer. Whatever coffee filter you can find around will work. I like to do one at a time. And what's gonna allow you is to have a beautiful tomato water consommé. And consommé is a flavorful, clear and clarified soup or broth. And you're gonna see the separation. So it's very easy. This you can find anywhere. So I'm looking at the separation between I think this is what this is what I need. I want to be very clear, you know, there is juicing. I don't want you to blend it. You can blend it if you want, but it's gonna be much thicker. I like the juice part of it. You want to extract the juice. When you blend things, you kind of blend it together and mix it, and this is not the cleanness that you will look for, but you know, once again, it's the best way to do it. So what I'm gonna do is kind of to season this. There's a little bit of sherry. And then a touch of lemon. You just don't wanna mix it. So what you wanna do first is to remove the top of it. This is what I'm looking for. You wanna kind of clean that. It's almost like you're clarifying, literally, the tomato water. So clarifying means skimming the top of a heated liquid to remove the solids that rise up, like this foamy-looking surface. This help form a pure liquid. So this should not go back to the liquid that is separated. So you want to take as much as you can, and then we're gonna put it through a coffee filter. So you can do it the same day, but it will ask you to pay attention to this because this is a little bit delicate. So let's see if I can start to clarify. Okay, and gently, we're gonna do a pour over. Look at that beautiful, clear water that's coming. This is really nice. Once again, it's a little bit hot, so you can let it sit for another 5 minutes, but you don't want this to be cold either. But can you see the water? It's so clear, it's so nice. And just be patient with it. And then when there is too much of the pulp inside, just switch to another coffee filter. So you might take 2 or 3, really depends the size of it. Okay. Yeah, you see, this is beautiful. Just want to show you. You see how clear the water is? It's purity in itself. This is just gorgeous. Once again, this is absolutely delicious to drink also by itself. You can use also this tomato water to start stock, to start sauces, to add, because there is a lot of umami. I've seen people use tomato water also to make cocktail, which is very interesting to me. But this is such an incredible base in your pantry and bring a lot of flavor. Cooking is about bringing and layering flavors. And when you know a little bit of different recipe, you can add those recipes to other things. So that's what kind of one I want to teach you. But look at this. This is just magnificent. I mean, can you see the tomato water here? Okay, so it's going to take a few minutes to strain, and sometime a half hour to an hour. After this, you know, we're going to use the liquid to make a gel out of it, and that gel is going to be a base also to add to the tomato So let it strain for about an hour and then get to the gel. Okay, so let's make some gel now. Look at this. The tomato water is ready to go. I'm using agar-agar. Agar-agar is obviously vegetable-based seaweed, and it will help you and help us to do a gel. So the trick with agar-agar, you need to rehydrate it, the powder first. So what you want to do, you want to take a little bit of your tomato water. You want to boil it. It's very important. Bringing to a simmer, and you want to rehydrate the powder so it can activate the gel. So you want this to be a little bit warm. And then you add gently and you mix. You make sure that everything is hydrating. So it's gonna simmer for about 30 seconds, and then you know that the agar-agar is starting to hydrate. There you go. And you take it out of the fire. And then what you're gonna do is really to add gently the rest of the tomato water. And you can see it's starting to gel. So you don't wanna let it go and let it sit for a long time, because otherwise you're not gonna be able to create the gel. So, and just little bit by little, you just want to add the tomato water. Make sure it's emulsifying together. It's kind of like thinning out, but once again, it's gonna gel again. And you just follow the recipe. This is something that you really need to follow, because if you put too much agar-agar and you don't hydrate it, it's not gonna work, or it's gonna be too hard of a gel. So just make sure you follow the recipe we're giving you. I share with you my tool in the kitchen, and we're using the kitchen scale to weigh the liquid out, and then the gram scale is used to scale the agar-agar. All right, so I think it's pretty much incorporating the agar-agar. And the key here, this, you don't want to go directly to a bowl. You want to strain it. It's less liquid than it was before. If it's too liquid and it's not looking that it's gelling, then there is a problem. You might have to do the recipe again. Once again, you can't fix the recipe. You gotta redo it from start. So I think we've done a good job here, and we are gonna strain it to a bowl, and the bowl is gonna go and set in the fridge. Slowly, you don't really want any bubble. It's clean gel. You can see it, you know, when you pour it, it's already like jelly liquid. See, sometimes you have some residue and you don't want that in the gel. So you wanna just see how jelly it is? It's nice. Okay. So this, the gel is gonna go to the fridge for about, I mean, obviously we have a lot of liquid here. I will say this will go about 30, 45 to an hour in the fridge to be able to have the consistency that we want to have. Once again, it's need to be nice and cold so we can play with it. So that's going to the fridge now. Okay, now let's plate everything for an incredible final tomato dish. We have marinated heirloom tomatoes, dehydrated early girls tomato, flowers and herbs, sun-gold tomato confit, vinaigrette, and gel. We have everything here. Now, what I'm gonna do is season the crème fraîche. Very simple. We are gonna pipe this crème fraîche into a pastry bag. Sample, a little bit of salt, touch of lemon, I'm gonna zest some lemon just to bring it to next level. I just love to use the zest and the juice just for the reason that it just also bring two type of acidity. Mix it. Make sure everything is incorporated. Okay, and then transfer it to a pastry bag and let it sit again because it needs to get a little bit firmer. So that's what I'm doing that right now. Crème fraîche is such a simple ingredient, but it provides so much richness, and it's going to be just so beautiful. Again, the acidity and the sweetness also of the tomato. When you cook and when you create dishes, you want to balance your dish. So you got to bring sweetness, acidity, fat to it, and that's kind of allow you to understand the way to do things. So you have a bowl. In the bottom, we are going to lay those beautiful tomato that has been marinated around. And do you see a little bit of juice here? Well, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna add dishes to my vinaigrette that I made earlier. So no waste, just making sure. And I just pour a little bit of vinaigrette here, okay? Okay, so now I'm gonna add the crème fraîche to give a little bit of layer. Once again, you always have to taste. It's nice, luxurious on your mouth. It's fat, it's beautiful. So start in the middle and kind of go around. Here you go. I am gonna now bring the petal that has been dehydrated around. Okay, we are going to bring the confit tomato to it. So what you want to make sure you do is the confit tomato, you want to definitely take the excess of oil that you confit the tomato with. So you want to lay them on a paper towel nicely. And the leftover of oil, just put that in the container and then you can use that to do vinaigrette or doing other things. Or maybe you might want to confit again, which will be amazing because the flavor is gonna be there and you can add to whatever you want to confit. So just as much as you want. Okay, so you make sure the oil is out and we're gonna put them nicely on salad here. So I think when you're plating, you want to kind of fill up spaces. You don't want to just throw everything together. What I like to do is kind of layering everything here. I'm going to put more petal here, just maybe on the side here, just to wrap the tomato. It's beautiful and nice. And then maybe we're going to add a little bit more crème fraîche. And then we're going to add another layer of tomato. Oh, that's beautiful. Looks like it's time that we can layer the gel. So the way you kind of break the gel, you can take a fork and you just crush it like this. It's kind of beautiful. It gives you that very light, jelly tomato water that will have texture to the dish. So you just take a spoon. See, it's breaking. See, it's really nice. And then you just go around here on top of it. So why are we adding a gel? Because what I love about the gel is a kind of different texture. And when it hits the palate, it kind of dissolves in your mouth, but it brings a layering of flavor that you wouldn't get if you didn't have the gel. Now we can add a little bit of vinaigrette to it. Oh, this is so pretty. Okay, and we are gonna finish. All right, so we have some basil bud here. We have flowers from the garden. The tomato flower is amazing. See, this is tomato flower. They have so much flavor. You put that on the salad, it's like, look at those, baby. I love those too. So delicious. Come out of the soil, they're surrounded by those beautiful vegetables and flowers and herbs. The idea is kind of to bring them back to their natural and beautiful habitat. And then once again, you know, when you plate something, it needs to be appealing to the eyes. And if you do that, you already win half of the battle. Create the form and the visual that you want. As you see, I have a lot of different flowers and herbs, but all the herbs come together. And then, you know, when you go to the farmer market, if you go get your tomato, just also be inspired of the surrounding of the farmer market. What do they have? What kind of flowers? What kind of herbs they have? And then you can start to create your own dish and then be excited to go home and cook that dish. I think it's so, then maybe a touch of maybe more. So we have a little bit basil here. The basil bud, which I love basil bud, but it's very strong, so you might not need a lot. Okay, what are we missing here? All right, let's put a little bit of yellow. Yellow is what I wake up in the morning when I look up the sun. Okay, I think we're good. Voila. I think we have a beautiful tomato salad, different layering, the vinaigrette, the tomato water, the fat of the creme fraiche, different texture of tomato, dry, raw, confit, and the herbs that bring everything together. And as you see, I use a lot of herbs in my cooking, so voila, la tomate du jardin. Enjoy. This is the tomato evolved. This is a dish that you can serve on its own with some leek or cabbage is delicious, mushroom. Once again, it's a versatile dish, but on its own for lunch, this and a piece of butter, a little bit of baguette next to it, delicious. So let's test. So you really want to go in. Wow. The flavor is so intense. The chewiness of kind of the dehydrated petal of tomato is delicious. The fat of the creme fraiche against the acidity and also the sweetness of the tomato is absolutely outstanding. And the herbs just bringing together. I mean, this is absolutely a delicious dish. It's a winner. I know you guys can do it, but this is just summer literally in your mouth. Tomato is not just a singular taste. You can have layering and you can really taste all the layering of each tomato that we use for this recipe. I mean, this is just amazing. I'm gonna go back at it because it's absolutely delicious. La tomate. Merci. See the effervescing beauty with rosy cheeks rises. So when you do a recipe with melon, I think it's always very interesting to use a different type of melon. The way that you learn about a different type. The best way to do it is to go to the farmer market, talk to farmers, and to educate yourself about the way they grow things, why they're growing things, why it's the season. They can educate you on maybe some are more firm than others, some are more sweeter, some maybe less texture and taste to it, but they like better maybe being grilled or doing other things with it. We have a farm outside of our restaurant, which is located in Sonoma, and we use a different type of melon. Make sure that when you do a recipe, you get different variety of product around you. What I love about melon is you can use everything. So you can use the meat inside, you can ferment it, you can grill it, you can roast it, you can make vinegar out of it. And I'm gonna show you a few ways of using melon in the next recipes. In this chapter, I will show you techniques for how to cut a melon and enhance it by transforming the fruit into delicate seasoned melon ribbons that you can enjoy on its own or progress with in the melon evolved and eliminated chapters. Okay, so now we're gonna work with the honeydew. This is a very important thing for you to learn and to be aware that when you start a recipe, make sure that you have your mise en place. Mise en place means to put everything in its place and have your ingredient prepared. I need maybe one bowl, maybe more than that. So I'm going to use a bowl to put the seed. This is the bowl that we're gonna slice and marinate the honeydew. And of course, there is another bowl that we're gonna put the skin on, because what I'm gonna show you today, and I think not just for this, but in general, when you cook, make sure that there is not a lot of waste, because we can use everything. So first, the way that you cut a melon, you wanna cut the bottom of this, kind of straight, because we're gonna peel it, all right? So sometimes I just also cut this. So I'm gonna put that here. You wanna make sure that your knife is sharp. You want this to be probably 6 to 8 inches. If you have a shorter knife, it might be harder, but you can also work with a shorter knife. So you wanna go on the top here, and then you want to make sure that slowly, so you just want to put your hand here to hold this, and then you just go around. Okay. And then you just turn. You take your time, okay? This is nothing, doesn't have to be perfect, but you don't want to, when you cut the skin, you make sure you don't take too much of the meat inside. Then you just go around. Oh, I can smell it, it's nice. I mean, you can see how beautiful it is. When you look at the melon, it's beautiful and it's ripe. So how do you know that it's ripe before you cut it? I'm gonna tell you a little bit of trick. If you are on your own at the farmer market and you don't have access to the farmer, try to follow kind of your instinct first. And you just want to touch it a little bit, but smell it. Oh, the fragrance is amazing. You know it's ready. So if it's too mushy, then don't buy it. But it needs to have some type of softness a little bit. You can see it here at the bottom of it. I can feel my finger bounce back. And then when your farmer is available, just ask her or ask him, you know, more detail about it. You smell and you should have a little bit of aroma that's come out, and then you know that it's ripe. If it's too firm and there's no aroma, you know it needs a little bit more time. But once again, don't be shy. talk to your farmers and allow her or him to give you some guidance when you pick vegetable. All right, so we're gonna continue doing this. Are you guys doing that with me? I hope so. You know, when you do this, the best things to do, just have some music playing, you know? Okay, so you want to take out the white here, because it's a little bit, I think, harder and maybe a little bit bitter. So you just go around and you're just like, okay, I'm gonna clean that up. Just go back here. All right, so what I like to do, I like to test it. The white part is not that great. That's why you want to take the white part out. All right, so when everything is clean, what you want to do is to cut it in halves. This is pretty, I'm not going to use the word slimy, but this is not very safe. It's slippery. You want to be very careful with it. So what I often do is take a towel and there you go. And that feels safe. So it's not, you see, it's not sliding. All right, so you want to make sure that your knife is always clean. And then what we're going to do, we're going to cut it in half, okay? We're going to use this to slice. So I think the best way for me will be to cut it this way, in the long way. So, and now you just open that up. And what we want to do right now, it's really to take all the seed out. So you want to get just like a spoon, a soup spoon, and you get your bowl. And you just want to go around just nicely. You don't want to destroy your melon, okay? So just be gentle. The best way to do it, you just, you know, there is anything you have, there is always a natural curve to follow. So you want to kind of follow the natural curve. The idea sometimes to do this is like to keep the integrity also of the vegetable or the fruit. Okay, here. What I like to use is called a mandolin. This is one of the greatest inventions. A mandolin is going to help you to keep the texture that I'm looking for, the consistency also of the cut. It's also, you have to be very careful with the mandolin because it can cut you. Just be thoughtful and conscious. And, you know, once again, cooking is about paying attention. You have to pay attention in everything that you do. So what we're going to do, we're going to cut the melon in half here. And then we're going to use this part and we're going to slice it. And you make sure that you hold it a little bit harder. And then what you want to do, you know, you get like those beautiful ribbon, I would say in French. So, you know, cooking doesn't have to be perfect. Cooking is very subjective. And sometimes there is imperfection that make the dish perfect. So don't be mad at yourself or just nervous or anxious because you're not cutting the perfect ribbon. Who cares? It's all about the way it tastes anyway. Okay, so you want to just, you know, go at it. All right, so this is what we're having here. Look at this beautiful ribbon. This is what you want. And then what you want to do, you want to test it. So good. It's not too sweet. It's delicious. Great aroma. Great texture. Okay, so now we're going to marinate those. So here we have the sliced melon, and we're going to season it. A little bit of lemon. So I'm going to give you a trick here. Lemon. There's two ways of the way you can cut lemon to get juice, or you can cut it in half, or you can cut it from the side. And what happens when you cut it from the side, you don't have to deal with any seed. that will go into your plate. So this is a little trick that I like to do. Okay, so just a bit of lemon and a little bit of lime. And why lemon or lime? So they are citrus. Citrus bring acidity, also flavor, and it's also going to start to marinate the slice of melon, which you think about, when you do ceviche, you use that, but you can also use this technique with vegetable, which that cook them a little bit and give a different texture and acidity to the dish. So I love to do this. A little bit of lime also on top, and I love to use salt. Salt brings the flavor. A lot of people think that salt is just seasoning, but it's also salt bring the something that perhaps that you will not taste if you don't put a little bit of salt. So for me, salt is the core of bringing the flavor of whatever you want to cook. And it brings the integrity to the next level. So that's what I love salt. But I'm also French, so that's also why I love salt. So here I'm using fleur de sel. Any kind of other coarse sea salt will be also good for the recipe. You can use Maldon salt. There is also gray salt if you want, whatever salt you like. But make sure it's bigger type of salt. And also understand where the salt comes from. So you can go to any specialty store. And even, I think at the farmer market also you can find them. Or any kind of market. So, but fleur de sel, this is one of my favorite salts. So just salt it to bring the flavor and the texture up. Make sure your finger is always and your hand always clean and dry. And we're gonna put a little bit of olive oil. Make sure that you know where the olive oil comes from. Never buy olive oil in a plastic container. It's a no. The best one are offered in a glass jar. Maybe not too clear, but like a little bit of color. Read where the olive oil was processed. Get to know the olive oil. Get to know where it comes from, and I think that will help you to get also sometime a better recipe. So when you finish with the salt and the olive oil and the lemon, you're gonna let it sit for wherever you want. I usually like to, I would say about 5 to 10 minutes. You can do more, you can do less. It's really up to you and the way you like to test things. So this is something that is very versatile and goes with everything that you want to serve. Enjoy an happy melon salad. Melon. It's one of my favorite fruit. You can do so many things with melon. Obviously, it's very seasonal. Melon is from the family of cucumber. What we're going to show you is a different technique. Grill it, smoke it, juice it, making gel out of it, eating it raw. So this is something that you can, very versatile. I grew up with melon, obviously, in France. It's seasonal, summertime. And so there's a lot of history with melon. Melon came from Africa, and it was one of the first fruit that were domesticated. So it's pretty rich history, but it's also very delicious. Some are more sweet than others. Kids love melon. I love melon. In this chapter, we are going to marinate melon in aromatics, grill it on the ebashi for caramelization, then roast it in the oven, and finally cold smoke it with a smoking gun for a delicious melon dish. Okay, now we're gonna grill the melon. This is a brilliant melon. Cut in half and then quarter it. So what I like to do is to season it. What I love about this seasoning is remind me a little bit of what I grew up with a touch of where I traveled with. So I like to wear gloves because we're gonna be using allium Alliums is the plant variety including scallions, leeks, onions, garlic, and shallots. Also, we're going to use lemon and all that, so just get some gloves. This is much more cleaner. The other type of melon that we're going to grill it, so it's called a brilliant melon, which is beautiful, white, very sweet. So the way that I love to marinate things is I like to get a little bit of shallot, slice of lime, lemon, ginger, love ginger, a little bit of garlic, and a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of salt. And I just want to kind of mix them and marinate them for about maybe 5-10 minutes. You really want to get all those flavor into the melon, which is going to be absolutely delicious. And once again, with this marination, you can be very creative. You know, whatever speaks to you, whatever you love, wherever, you come from, maybe your culture bring a lot of different spices, anything is good. I mean, you could do chocolate, but we don't want to do chocolate right now. I love chocolate and melon. It's delicious also, by the way. But it could be also red pepper, chili pepper, which is delicious, which I tried before. Sesame seed also is delicious. You can get also some other thing that may be more sweet if you want. This is your dish. I'm just giving you the basic of it. Okay, so you want to make sure that you incorporate everything. You can let it sit for 10 minutes. So after that, after 10 minutes, you want to grill that. So you want to take everything kind of away. You don't want any pieces here of lemon, of shallot. And then you just want to grill on the grill. I love to use the ibashi, the bushiton. Doesn't have as much fume that other grill will give you. All right, so we are grilling the melon. Oh yeah. You want to grill them, you don't want to burn them. So what I like to do also, I'm a lover of fans, so I just like kind of smoke it a little bit on the grill and just keep an eye on it. Once again, if you don't have an ibashi grill, you can use any grill that you have in hand. If you don't have any grill, you could also sear it in the pan with a little bit of olive oil, sear it, and then making you get a little bit of color on both sides. And after, when you finish, then that's what we're going to do with this. We're going to put it in the oven to cook it a little bit more. So you can do it also with a pan. It will be, I think, a different flavors and texture that the pan will give you, but be creative. You can do whatever you want to do. The idea is to kind of like have a roasted melon, but the grill, the way that we do it right now, just kind of bring a different layer of smokiness, and that's what the dish is gonna play out the best. And be creative once again. After we do this, this is what happens. You get a beautiful caramelized grilled melon. So why you get all those beautiful color? Because you have to understand that this is a fruit, and in the fruit there is natural sugar. And the sugar is going to come out and it's going to heat the fire and it's going to do a natural caramelization. And I think this is delicious. Okay, so when the melon is grilled, put it back in the marination and we're going to roast that. So set your oven at about 375 degrees. You want to set the oven before you start your mise en place, okay, because the oven needs to be hot. For about 5 to 10 minutes, once again, it's going to be up to you to kind of gauge when the roast is done, the way that you notice that the melon will be cooked, get a little bit softer, and you can see juice coming out. So let's get cooking in the oven right now. All right, so they're roasted right now. What we're going to do with it, we're going to go to the next level and show you how to cold smoke it. Now we're gonna cold smoke the melon, which is not that hard to do. The smoking gun will give the melon a smoky and grilled flavor, so I fill the chamber here with wood. I like to use apple wood, which is much better. Get a container just covered with aluminum, and that will do the job. Can you see the smoke here? The smoking gun produces air, and when it's lit with fire, smoke comes out. All right, and we are probably gonna wait about 25 minutes. So if you don't have a smoking gun, it's very simple. You just take also a deep pan like this, just put a little bit of apple wood inside. What you want to do is kind of separate your melon to the apple wood. Often what I do, I take a little bit of foil and I put a little bit of aluminum around the apple wood and I start to light it up and then I just cover it. It does exactly the same thing. Maybe a little bit more time sometime, but it's very primitive. You can do it also, or even in the oven also. Sometimes you can do it smoking in the oven. But once again, you need to feel comfortable in the way you want to smoke it. So 25 minutes. Smokiness, that's what I love. You can cut it in anywhere. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna cut it in half. Just kind of looking at, maybe some form, maybe I can play with it. Maybe just go back here. And this is the finished dish. We marinated the melon, grilled it on the hibachi, roasted in the oven, then cold smoked it with the smoking gun. This is beautiful. You can really enjoy it just how it is. Put some green, beautiful herbs from the farmer market. Voila. Melon, melon, melon. In French, in English, the same word, maybe different pronunciation. Doesn't grow on a tree, okay? It grows on a vine, like this one. It's just so versatile, but it's so delicious. My mom used to make this incredible a melon with port wine. So she used to go get the cantaloupe melon at the farmer market, cut it in half, take the seed out, pour the port wine inside, and that was the welcoming appetizer, and that was delicious. So we're gonna use 3 different types of melon today. We're gonna use honeydew, cantaloupe, and brilliant. One is white, one is green, one is beautiful, I would say orange. Almost you can make a rainbow flag out of them. You might need more other color, but this is what we're gonna do. So now we are going to evolve the melon. This version incorporates further layers to transform your dish into a beautiful melon salad. We are making melon balls, melon water, and gel. We will marinate and grill melon and use that grilled melon from the melon illuminated chapter to add layers to this dish. We're gonna cook cantaloupe. It's definitely a melon that you see everywhere. It's probably one of the most known melon here in America, maybe in the world, but especially in America. I love it, it's sweet. I love the aroma of it. So what we're gonna do first, we're gonna melon bowl. So this is a melon bowler. I love melon bowler, what a beautiful name. You can do small or you can do big, whatever you want. So you just wanna go inside, just turn around like that, just very simple. And what is great about this, that we gonna have fun with it, but you're also going to use everything, so there is absolutely no waste. It's going to give you a different texture Once again, it's a different taste and aroma than the other melon that we've been using. That's what you want to do. In cooking, you want to kind of build your own flavor and your own layering. So it's very interesting sometimes to have different type of the same vegetable or fruit, but with a different taste to it. It just very complement each other. So you're doing this. When you finish with this, you want to cut it. What we're going to do, we're going to juice it. You want to take the seed out. Make sure there's no seed left on, and you just cut it. I'm going to juice that baby. So there's a lot of different ways you can juice it. You can, blender. You can also do in a juicer if you want. I kind of like to do in this. It can get messy, but it's so much fun. If you're cooking with your kids, you can have them take the seed out. There's not really any specific the way you want to cut that, but you want to make sure that you cut it in a way that is not too big inside, so it will blend naturally. All right, so let's do that baby. I think that's good. All right, so what we're gonna do right now, we are gonna make a juice out of it. So take the lid out. So you can disregard this. Then we're gonna juice this. So what you wanna do is to set up your chinois with the cheesecloth. If you don't have a chinois, you can use a strainer. You just want to be gentle and not like doing this like this because you're gonna be messy. So just be patient, When you cook, you just add the puree here, and what's gonna happen? You can see the juice coming out right now, and that's what you want. Make sure you use maybe perhaps sometime a smaller ladle. This one might be a little bit too big, but that's okay. Who cares, right? You're in your kitchen, nobody's watching you. Look at that beautiful liquid that's coming out. I can smell it. This is delicious. Okay, when you're almost there, then you can do this. There you go. Okay, so we're gonna let this drain for about, might take like 5-10 minutes, maybe more. Really depends. Sometime at the beginning, sometime it goes fast, and then it takes a little bit more time. So just be patient. This is how the juice needs to look beautiful. You can, it smells so good. So when you cook, make sure you taste everything. This is delicious. There is absolutely nothing, just the juice of the melon, and it's delicious. It tastes like candy in my mouth, obviously. So remember, when you do tasting in your kitchen, make sure you have a lot of different tasting spoons, because you don't want to do this and then go back here and go back here and go back here. This is a spoon that you're not going to reuse. So make sure you have enough tasting spoon around you. So that's a little bit of tips. So char melon on the grill, then cut into cubes. Add some aromatics like ginger, jalapeno, lemon juice, shallot, and garlic. Mix the melon with aromatics. Add vinegar. You can use champagne vinegar, white wine vinegar, or sherry vinegar. Whatever you like, you can put it inside, but I kind of like the the different layer and a little bit of spiciness from the jalapeno. And we're gonna marinate it with the juice. So you just wanna, making sure it's nicely marinated together. And what we're gonna do, we are gonna cold smoke it for about 5-10 minutes. And then after we cold smoke it, we're gonna strain it and we're gonna turn it into a gel. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna do the process of making the melon gel. This is the liquid that we got from the smoke. And this is the perfect example of how we use the 2 scale that I showed you earlier. The kitchen scale helped me to weigh the liquid, and the gram scale helped me to weigh the agar-agar. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna incorporate the agar-agar into the liquid. What is agar? Agar is a seaweed. So it's a vegetable-based powder that can form into a gel when heated, mixed with liquid, and then refrigerated. I want to make sure that you have to understand how to use it, because this powder needs to be rehydrated to be able to activate it. So what we're going to do is to get a little bit of melon juice, warm that up, add the agar-agar so it's activated, and then put it out and add the rest of the melon juice to it, and then let it set, and that's gonna create a gel. Okay. So you want this to come to kind of like warm liquid right now, and then when you see it's getting really, really warm, you want to incorporate the agar a little bit at a time. So it's going to be simmering for about 30 seconds, and so it starts to thicken. I'm going to take it out right now, and I'm going to add the rest, little by little, of the melon juice. So everything, because you don't want to cook all the melon juice. You want to really preserve some of that raw and fresh acidity to the gel, but you make sure that you have to incorporate it very nicely and slowly, and pay attention, It's like, just look at it, it's like, okay, if there is any clump that's forming, then you're not doing a good job. All right, so when you use hydrocolloid, you make sure that before to set your gel, you want to strain it, because you don't want any impurity or maybe leftover of the agar-agar inside of your gel. So you just wanted this to be cleaner, and this is going to be strained, and then you can set up your gel. All right, so we're going to strain this beautiful mixture here. But you have to do it right away, otherwise if you don't, it's gonna set, and that's not what you want. So just take a bit of a strainer, just be gentle. You see it's already gelifying, it's pretty cool. Okay. Okay, so the gel is gonna go to the fridge for about 30 to an hour in the fridge. Depends really on how much liquid you have, but make sure it's in the fridge, it's gonna set. You don't wanna open your fridge back and forth. You want this to let it set really nicely. All right, so let's get plating right now. All right, so I got the melon here. I'm gonna cut them for the salad. I got my melon balls, my marinade honeydew, and then I got my gels. So the importance, when you do a mise en place and you start to cook your ingredient, you want to make sure that when it's time to assemble everything, you want to make sure that everything is in front of you. You don't have to run to the fridge. You don't have to do anything. It's like in front of you. And obviously the most important thing, you have to have a plate, okay? And then all your different condiments, which is all the flowers. So you double check, always double check. I got my white melon, I got my cantaloupe, I got my honeydew, my herbs, my gel, a bit of lemon, salt. There you go, perfect. So once again, use your creativity and the way that you want to play things, have fun. You can cut it in anywhere. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut it in half. I'm just kind of looking at, maybe some form, maybe I can play with it. Maybe just go back here. Once again, it's a salad, so you kind of want to be bite-sized. So here, and not too thick in your mouth. So I'm just going to just cut it like that. I do my own cutting, but I like kind of cutting it in a different form so I can have fun to plate it. And also, anytime that I do a dish, I like a visual that go up. I don't like flat visual, but I want some form. So when people look at it, it's like, oh, wow, this is beautiful. So I cut first the beautiful white melon. And here we have beautiful, the marinated honeydew. So what I like to do with it is a lot of way. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna kind of roll them like this, just to make it them beautiful. You just pose them the way you want, on top of it. It's kind of look like a cucumber. Melon is from the cucumber family, which is kind of cool. So just a couple of those here on side. The way that I like to design also the plate is, I want to bring back nature into the plate. Nature is giving us some beautiful, bounty, delicious product and food out there. And I think it's nice to celebrate them in a way that the way you do your plate is also beautiful, so it's art. You don't have to be an artist per se, but just pay attention of the visual and make it beautiful to your eyes, and look outside and maybe marry nature and the way you plate it. And that's kind of my philosophy. So here we have the beautiful marinated honeydew, and then the melon, which I love about those melon balls, you can season them or you don't have to season them, but you just kind of hang them out like this. And then we have the gel. So the gel is going to help us to season the plate. It's high and acid. It's almost like a dressing, but it's in a set form. So what I like to do is, I like to break it down a little bit. So people don't eat, big pieces of gel, but just enough to melt in their mouth. And all the acidity and the flavor, it's just absolutely delicious. And then you kind of want this to be all around, so people, when they bite one bite and another bite, they can taste it. It's delicious. Wow, this is so good. It's spicy, it's acidic, but it's just all the flavor of the melon is there. It's just really beautiful. And now the finish. Beautiful, different herbs, different flavors. You can go from mint, marjoram, basil, even rosemary. It's delicious also. Whatever shiso, whatever you like, melon goes basically to everything. Even sage, because sage is a little bit stringent, but I taste sage before, it's delicious. So you just want to go around, and it's creating the garden of melon here, which I think is beautiful. And when you do this, just bring yourself to a place where wow, I prepped this dish. I put a lot of detail and love and seasoning and I did all this work, you know, and then I'm so proud to present you the dish. You know, so just think, get that you confidence when you plate, you know. This is your heart. This is your craft. So just be proud of what you just did, you know. And once again, it's really up to you how much herbs you want on it. I love herbs, and I think they bring a different layering also to every dishes. And to finish, you know, a little bit of lime on top. And I want maybe to use a little bit of also the leftover of this oil that we have here. So look at this beautiful olive oil and the juice of the melon. That's you can. Okay, I think we're done here. La salade de melon. Voila. And this is the melon evolved. You prep, you cook, you plate it. Beautiful. It comes together and then you test it and you can see all the work that you have done through literally the lesson, you know, like the smokiness, the acidity, you know, everything comes together with the herbs and different layering. This is a great starter for a lot of things. Cabbage, beets, even tomato. You know, you can have a melon salad and then you can have tomato. Or you can follow up with asparagus. This is something that is very versatile and goes with everything that you want to serve. If you want to serve protein, of fish, of eggs, it's also very delicious. So let's try it. What I love when I try things, sometimes I try things individually, but it's so beautiful that I kind of want to mix everything together and get kind of the flavor of melon, grilled melon, maybe some herbs. Look at this. So good. So good. It's fresh, it's clean. Summer in your mouth is perfect. Salade de melon. Woo! A wild dance together to the memories of a devotion unspoken. Okay, so now we're gonna do, we're gonna make a dish, and I love it, it's delicious, I grew up with it. Leek is an allium, it's a part of the allium family, shallot, garlic, green onion. We grow it at the farm, you know, in Sonoma, in California. My parents come from an area in France called Brittany, and they have the best leek, we call it poireau. Often leeks is used in stock or perhaps leek soup, but I think on its own is just, I think it's the leek is the queen. So we're gonna show you how to do a version of the leek vinaigrette today. So make sure that when you work with leek, it's clean. You know, leeks come from bottom of the soil. You know, earth's gonna be kissing the leek, so you don't wanna eat that. You wanna kind of clean that up. You know, the easy way is get a bowl with room temperature water and just get your leek inside to make sure you wash it properly. So first you want to trim your leeks crosswise, close to the root end, so you can use as much of the white part of the leeks for this recipe. There is a part of the leek that could be a little bit bitter, so you kind of discard that. You can use it to make soup, or you can ferment that, or you can do any sauce with it. So what we want to do is we're going to make a warm vinaigrette first to start, Then we take that liquid vinaigrette and we're gonna pour that over the leek, and then we're gonna bake it in the oven. We're gonna do a béarnaise sauce. And you can make just a beautiful artistic dish. What I love about the leek also, if you have leftover, the next day you can eat them totally cold. It's delicious. So the first things is you get a pot, you get some beautiful oil, and then so what we're gonna do, we're gonna infuse some garlic, some bay leaves, and to the oil first. So this is olive oil. You don't want to overboil that. Make sure you control the oil. Get a thermometer. You don't want this over 300 degrees. The reason why we're doing this is not to cook the oil, it's to get flavor, to infuse flavor. So gonna be a little bit of clove of garlic. Once again, you can put shallot if you want. Bay leaves. You want to kind of crack the bay leaf to kind of open the flavor. And then a little bit of thyme. And you're gonna see, like, I can smell it, like it's getting warm and it's getting a little bit infused. And then you can hear, you know, food when you cook is, you can hear, it's like a music to you here. So you can see it. So when it kind of crispy, the thyme a little bit, so you wanna go down on the temperature. Once again, you want to infuse, you don't wanna cook it. Oh yeah, this is good. And then the aromatic is coming out. I'm gonna do a little bit of champagne vinegar. I love champagne vinegar. You can put cider if you want. You let it warm up, and a bit of touch of water. People will say oil and water is not good. Well, it's good for what we're doing right now. So just add it to it. When you're gonna be cooking the leek, the water's kind of gonna reduce, and it's gonna keep the flavor of the oil and the vinegar and all the aromatic together. So it's a little bit of trick. So once again, the way you test it, you don't go to your mouth right now. You just put your spoon in, and then you just put a little bit on, because it's oil, you know, it could be very hot. This is delicious right now, and that could be a part of your pantry, which is great. So you turn it off, you take it out, and you want to season it. So a little bit of pepper, a little bit of salt, and then this warm vinaigrette, we're going to transfer that over the leek. You don't want to cook it more than a minute or 2 minutes. Okay. There is salt in the vinaigrette. What I like to do is perhaps to salt it just right after it come out, so I can control really the seasoning. And so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put this for about 30 minutes. It's almost you want to confit it, you know, you're cooking in the fat. So 30 minutes, about at 325. Okay, so the leek are cooking. I will say are confing in the oven. We're gonna do a béarnaise sauce. What we're gonna use today, it's all butter instead of clarified butter. Show you just a little bit of trick, so it's gonna be delicious. It's the best with reduction of like shallot, white wine, vermouth, a little bit of vinegar. Obviously, you gotta do with the eggs, and then the batter. So first, what you wanna do is you wanna get your ingredient, a little bit of shallot first in the bottom of your pan, okay? I want the heat to kind of open up the shallot. When the shallot are getting warm, then I can deglaze with the white wine that we have here. You want to use a dry wine. You don't want to use sweet wine. Make sure that when you use wine, you like to drink it, okay? So I'm just gonna put my wine here. And what I want to do, I want to reduce that first so the alcohol burn out. If you don't burn out your alcohol, the sauce is going to taste very bitter and you're going to still think that you're just drinking or tasting warm wine, and this is not good. You're going to be reducing with a little bit of a vermouth also, maybe like 10 minutes of reduction. Reduce it about half, about 50% of it. And so the vermouth, the white wine, reducing. A little bit of aromatic to it, but you want the wine kind of to like burn out before you put this. What I have here is tarragon and a little bit of thyme. As you see, I love thyme. Thyme is one of my favorite herbs. And you want to wait a little bit for this to reduce, and then you want to add the herbs at the end so you can preserve the taste of the herbs and the herb is not overcooked. So you can see it's reducing. I like to test, when it reduces, so I can see when the white wine and the vermouth the alcohol is gone. You can see also, I can smell it, it's still very much, I can still smell a lot of alcohol. Oh yeah, it's still that bitter alcohol, warm wine. So I will say another like 2 or 3 minutes. You keep going, and then after you just add a little bit of vinegar. And then, so I think the wine is burning out, and then you just add a little bit of your herbs just to kind of give the flavor. And what I like to add also, it's a touch of sherry vinegar, but that will be just at the end to bring back some type of fresh acid and nuttiness to the reduction. So this is what's going on here. And what I have here is literally the reduction that has been reduced and strained. So I'm going to show you how to start the Béarnaise. We have the reduction here ready to go. You start with boiling water, and you put a bowl, stainless bowl over it. It's called a bain-marie. And a bain-marie is another term for double boiler used to gently and slowly heat ingredients like chocolate or eggs. So it's going to help you to control the temperature when you start to whisk the eggs. The importance is that you're going to use yolk, and you want to make sure that you don't scramble the eggs. You want to make sure that you cook the eggs kind of like almost like a curd, like a thickening the eggs without the eggs being overcooked. And the way you do it, that's going to be your workout today. You're going to go back and forth to the heat. So when you cook the eggs, if you see anything that is sticking to the bowl, then you know that you need to take the bowl out and the egg is cooking too much. So, you're just go back and forth. They're getting lighter in color, they're getting thicker, they look like a paste. If it doesn't look like it, maybe you're just breaking the eggs, and this is that you don't want to do it. Make sure that you go back and forth. See, you can see how it's kind of forming. You want to go back and forth here. Okay, this is great. Just touch it, yeah. This is what you want, it's kind of look like curdy, and this is kind of what you want. Okay, so I think we are good here. What you want to do is add a little bit of the reduction, mix it, and keep going back and forth. This is really fun, but once again, it's a sauce. You can make a Béarnaise, you can make a Hollandaise like this. It's really the similar technique. You can add a little bit of more of this. You want this to be thick enough, because what's going to happen, you're going to add the batter to it. So if you don't have a nice stable emulsion at this point, like we have right now, then it's not going to work out. So I want just to add a little bit of my reduction here, just to get a lot of flavor to it. So the way that you know that the emulsion is doing well, you take a spoon, here, you take a spoon and we're gonna see a nappe to it. And a nappe is a velvety smooth sauce consistency that is thick enough to coat the back of a spoon. So, see, that's what you want. Is sticking to the back, is holding the shape, so you're good to go here. We go back and forth, okay? I'm gonna add a little bit more of the reduction because I love white wine and vinegar together. I think it's just... So this is something that you have to be patient. You don't want to break it. It's almost like when you know it's broken, is the fat will be separated to the other part of it, and it kind of look like a broken vinaigrette, and that's not good. Okay, so now I'm gonna start to add the batter. Just little bit by little, you start away from the heat. It needs to be room temperature, so it can melt properly. If it's too cold, it's not gonna work out. If it's too mushy, it's not gonna work out. And then you're gonna have to go back and forth because you don't wanna break it either. But you wanna make sure that you incorporate the batter nicely into the eggs and the reduction. Maybe the question that you will have, okay, what kind of butter I can use? Well, you can use demi-sel or salted butter. Once again, it's all about the ingredient. Make sure you use great butter, okay? And if you use, salted butter, then you have to watch your seasoning. I grew up in a country where butter were always salted, so this is kind of a part of my palate. But not everybody is like me. So once again, you are in charge of your cooking. What I'm giving you is just the basic, and you do whatever you want to do with it. But just follow, kind of the basic of it, and then you're gonna make something super delicious. Okay? Okay, so now let's check our emulsion. So I just want you guys to see, beautiful. The emulsion is beautiful. So you might want to take this out of the heat, and then you can finish the seasoning. Just a little bit of lemon. Okay, it's just a touch of vinegar. This is a sherry vinegar that I love. Just kind of bring just a little bit more acidity to it. Oh, this is, make sure you incorporate it nicely. I stopped adding the batter right now, which was very thick. Add a little bit more liquid. It's just gonna get the sauce a little bit more liquid. But that's what I want, because I kind of want to just put the sauce just over, like coat the leek. I'm not thinking about a very thick sauce. Okay, I'm bringing the leeks that were confit. Obviously, they were trimmed before to get into the roasting pan. They look beautiful. I can smell it. Smells a lot of volume. So what we want to do is to make sure that we're going to cut it to plate it. So could be a little bit tricky sometimes because you're going to have a hot oil. You don't want to burn yourself. So just take a spoon and just make sure that you want to get the excess of oil out. So you get a paper towel, a few paper towel. We're gonna put this on the side, and we're gonna still use the vinaigrette just to finish the dish. I think it's great. Okay, so this is beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. So I'm gonna cut it in kind of a cylinder. So you want this to look kind of the same. So you take kind of the bottom out. Okay. Then you look, it's just beautiful. It's cooked, yet it's still firm, and it's beautiful. And then you want a couple of those like this. So what I want to showcase is really the beauty of the lake. Once again, is cooking is giving you the tool to learn and to expand your creativity. And you don't have to do the same thing that everybody does, but obviously you need some basic. All right, so let's plate this baby here. I like to have plates that have color or are different than just white, because I can play with the vegetable or whatever I want to plate. So I think we're gonna just put those baby in the middle, kind of like a tower. And have those around. Here we have the vinaigrette. What I'm gonna add to it, just to get a little bit of lemon. Touch of vinegar. When you get the leeks out, and if they feel that too firm, put them back in the oven for another 5-10 minutes, and you check, you know. So I think this is a good way of you to understand your way of cooking. Always cook with confidence. It's okay sometimes, you know, things take more time. You know, timing on a recipe are very subjective to your oven, to the temperature, and to also the ingredient you're using. So it's okay. You just have to watch it, feel it, you know. So you want to try this? Oh, wow, this is so good. It's, when I'm testing here, I'm testing the juice of the leek, the acidity, the olive oil, the thyme, it's just perfect. So what I want to do is to just add it to the dishes a little bit on top to bring a little bit of taste to it. You can also use the leftover of this vinaigrette for doing other things. You can add mustard to it. You can, I mean, this is so versatile, and that could be a part of your pantry, which is great. We're just gonna, you know, bring a little bit of bareness, kind of draping the beautiful leek here. And obviously, you have to taste. This is so good. And then you finish with herbs. So this is a dish that there's a lot of acidity, this is an allium, there's a lot of fat, so you want to bring beautiful herbs to it to balance the dish. And that's what you need to think about your cooking, you know. I'm bringing a little bit of tarragon to it. That's a part of kind of the mix that we're doing here. It's kind of thin herbs. There is chervil. This is one of my favorite herbs to it also. Then we all know that chive is also bring a layering of flavor, but also will cut to the acidity, and it's just gonna bring the dish to kind of a different level. I just love chive. And then you can use whatever you want, you know, the things that taste that you know. You know, I grew up in a in France, and the herbs that I use all the time were, thyme and Fin's herb, from chervil to tarragon to parsley. So this is kind of in my taste bud, yet you can change it, you can do maybe cilantro, you can do shiso. It's up to your liking. And then c'est tout, We have a beautiful leek confit in the oven with a little bit of béarnaise on top and some herbs. Visually, this dish is so beautiful. I just want to eat it, which I will. So what you're looking for is the texture of the leek. And what I love about this is really a dish can stand on its own after an appetizer. Could be a main course. I mean, a little bit crunchy, but it's soft inside. The béarnaise, the fat, the acidity of the vinaigrette, the herbs with it, it's so good. I mean, so the sign that it's cooked properly is when you cut with your knife, it just doesn't go like you cut a puree of leek, You still have the outer of the leek that is kind of holding the leek, and the inside is just gonna melt in your mouth. This is so good. Once again, it's a simple dish, yet it's all about making sure that you pay attention the way you cook it, Vegetables are very delicate, but you can bring the best of the vegetable if you understand the way to cook them. And the way you cook them, you gotta watch it, you gotta test it. And maybe the first go at it, you might overcook it, you might burn it, doesn't matter, just try it again, because when you make it right, it's so delicious, and it can stand next to any other entree. The earthly song of the elephant singers. Mushroom, mushroom, mushroom. Mushroom is an ingredient that is very close to my heart. The love of mushrooms started with my father. My father was often taking us, my brother and I, to the forest to go forage mushroom and blackberry and all of it, and tell a story about life. It was one of the greatest moments of being able to connect with my father and my brother. It's also a moment of learning about the texture of what life is about. So today I want to showcase one of my favorite dishes. It's also I choose some mushroom that are easy to find. Once again, there's a lot of mushroom out there, very seasonal, but I choose the cremini mushroom today to showcase this beautiful ingredient that for me represent what Earth is about. And so in this chapter, we are going to make a mushroom essence and turn that into a gel. We'll smoke the egg yolk that we confit, make a mushroom foam, and slide and season the mushroom. It's going to be magnificent. So first, we're going to start to do a mushroom essence, which is literally a stock. I'm starting with burnt onion. I use white onion, kind of sear it on the pan, on the grill, kind of burn it. And what is going to due to the stock, is going to kind of give a beautiful, darker and deeper color to it. So I'm just putting that in the stock, all of it, a little bit of leeks, some garlic, and some aromatic, which is thyme. As you know, I love thyme. And then there's no waste. So the stem that I'm not using, I'm going to use it to make the stock. Water, once again, make sure the water is purified. And what you want to do is about to reduce it about half, so 50%. That will take, maybe an hour. It really depends how much liquid. You don't want to boil it. You want to kind of reduce it very slowly. And magic, what's going to happen is literally it's kind of the color that you want. This is a reduction. This is a mushroom essence. Very earthy. Can smell the mushroom, and this is what your final product needs to look like. You don't want to reduce it too much, otherwise it could be very syrupy. So that's the first step of the mushroom. I'm going to turn this mushroom essence into half of it. I'm going to use to turn it into gel. This is the same method that I've showed you earlier, tomato recipe, very similar recipe. And we're still using agar-agar and let it set in the fridge. So the next step of this recipe is we're gonna add some beautiful egg form. You want to separate the yolk from the white. Do not throw away the white. You can do a lot of things with it, so keep it on the side. So we are gonna confit the egg yolk. We want to make sure there is not really any white. We're going to settle them into olive oil. Do all of them together. The way that you choose your eggs, what I like to use, obviously, is fresh farm eggs. Talk to your farmers, go to the farmer market. There is a lot of people that love to sell their eggs directly from farm. Make sure it's not commercial eggs. It's not the best product out there. We use a lot of eggs from our farm. We have beautiful chicken, and they produce a lot of beautiful eggs, and they are delicious. So we're going to put that into olive oil. The reason why I separated the white and the yolk and using just the egg yolk, because I want to use the richness of the confit yolk within the mushroom, and it's going to create just a luxurious taste to it. So I'm going to go to the oven right now. It's about 250 degrees, about 20 minutes. All right, we are finished on the confit. I let it set for about 10 minutes out there, so it's still warm, but it's cooled down. And what we're gonna do here, we are gonna smoke those beautiful eggs. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna transfer this pan inside of this container, just gently. And then just one tips to know that the eggs is confit. What you want to do is to check them, and what you noticing is they are firm. So they are confit properly. They're still a little bit soft, but the outer is really nicely confit, and that's going to help to bring the dish together. This is not raw yolk, yet it's still soft, but it's still, everything is cooked. And then so I'm gonna use the same technique that I used earlier, which is smoking the yolk. And you will see me use this technique in the melange chapter in the class. So the way you can smoke anything, I'm talking about half hotel pan. You can find this, you can buy it online, or maybe go to restaurant, supply store. If you don't have it, get a container, just cover it with aluminum, and that will do the job. If you don't have a smoker, you can set some apple wood on the side and kind of close it with some aluminum. So about 10, 15 minutes, and then we get back to it. So I'm going to show you right now how to make a beautiful light mushroom form. We're going to use some of the stock that we made earlier, a little bit of milk, and then I'm going to be using lecithin. You can buy lecithin kind of everywhere. You can order online. It's an emulsifier which helps other ingredients mix easier. It will help the form to maintain its shape. So you just want to kind of warm that up in a hot pan. This is already hot. And then okay. And the lecithin is going to help you to emulsify the form and create beautiful, light, flavorful mushroom bubble. Lecithin is from egg yolk, but this one is derived from soy. So you want to bring that to the liquid. You want to kind of bring that to a simmer. Add 1 teaspoon of lecithin, and then bring it back in front of you. We are going to use an immersion blender to aerate the mixture into a foam consistency. I mean, what is cool with lecithin, you know, I can do this without the lecithin and I can get bubble, but the lecithin is going to help me to stabilize those bubbles. I mean, you can see right now, which is kind of cool. So. Okay, I think I'm good. What I like to use foam, it's to create kind of luxury taste to the flavor without bringing the heaviness of any cream or sauce. I think this is amazing to make beautiful foam. So this is what you're looking for. You see, it's tight and it stays on the spoon. And you taste it too. It's delicious. First, I want to take the eggs. Just get a plate, paper towel, and then gently scoop out the yolk. Take out the extract of all in it and set it very gently, so it's going to absorb. So I'm going to do a couple of those because sometimes accidents happen. Okay. All right, so I'm going to set those eggs on the side. What I'm going to do, I'm going to now make the mushroom salad. I'm going to get those beautiful creamy mushroom. I'm going to slice them. So what you want to do, you want to cut that in half. Then you just want to slice them. You have to really be careful with mandolin. Make sure that you don't cut yourself. There is instruction when you buy mandolin. Follow the instruction. You can also go, flat with you, but you don't have to go all the way. Whatever you have left, you just put that in the stock, or keep it for the next day. I took the stem off for 2 reasons. To make my stock, but also I think the shape of the mushroom is so much more beautiful, and it's going to be beautiful around the eggs. So we have this. I'm just gonna put this on the tray. All right, so I'm gonna season my mushroom right now, lightly, just to give a little bit of shine to it, but also season it. So the way that I like to season it, just to keep the integrity of the mushroom, because it's raw mushroom, take a brush, a little bit of olive oil, and then just brush it one by one. All right, beautiful. Bit of salt. Okay, so that's gonna be a part of the dish. First, we have the beautiful jet that has been set. Look at it, this is very shiny, this is beautiful, this is nice and soft. So first, the way that we're gonna build the dish, we are going to put the eggs in the middle. So you kind of want to make sure, be gentle so you don't break the yolk. Just put it in the middle like this. Yeah, this is what you want. I'm gonna play around with those mushrooms. So we're gonna build. So you kind of want to bring it around, just make it kind of beautiful like this. You can go all around or you can do half of it. Let me see. Just taking my time to make sure that it's what I like. Okay, this is beautiful. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna then add the foam around just to give a little bit of on that side. Okay, a bit more here. If you want to do like a half moon, get a half moon of mushroom and half moon of foam, and then you just add a little bit of herbs here. I have nasturtium, which gonna be delicious with the mushroom. So nasturtium is a delicious herb. It's a little bit, can be strong. It's delicious to make soup out of it. It's delicious on its own, and then just leave it around here. Going back to the forest, this is that grow wild. So it's kind of what you want to do is to bring the mushroom dish back to its natural habitat. Then add seasonal herbs like pretty mustard. Okay. And then what you might want to do is to finish with a little bit of sea salt on the egg confit. This is a beautiful mushroom dish with raw mushroom, mushroom gel, confit of egg yolk, and beautiful beauty of nasturtium and herbs. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna kind of break the yolk into and kind of mix everything. And just test it. This is delicious. The confit yolk with the rawness of the mushroom. Then you have the mushroom essence under it. The foam just bringing together, and the nasturtium is just married properly and beautifully with all the flavor. I'm tasting the forest right now. And this is delicious. This is a dish that can stand again on its own. You can serve it as an appetizer also, and followed by the cabbage or vice versa. You can do tomato and this after, or asparagus and mushroom. It's absolutely delicious. But I guarantee you that you will definitely make your customer or your family or your friends just happy. It's absolutely delicious. So it's light, it's clean, it's healthy, yet not too heavy. So I hope you enjoy. As delicate creatures of green surface to bloom. Asparagus. Asparagus is very special for me, and where I grew up also. It's a very seasonal vegetable, but it's a very delicious vegetable. I think a lot of people might be intimidated sometimes to cook asparagus. They just think they're going to overcook it or all that, but it could be a very simple way of doing it and bring the most beautiful flavor to it. In this chapter, we are making asparagus using different techniques. We'll make a vegetable stock. We will shape the skin off asparagus spears, blanch those spears in the cool bouillon, then grill them. Plus, we will peel additional asparagus stalks using a mandolin and curl them by soaking them in an ice bath. Lastly, we'll lay the asparagus over a beautiful creme fraiche sauce. So first, we are going to start some type of vegetable stock. Very simple. You can have different type of vegetable. You can add carrot to it. You can add onion. I'm going to do just leek, a little bit of garlic, and then I'm going to add some herbs to it, and then a touch of lemon at the end. Okay, so first I'm going to start with the leek. I'm going to use it to make the stock. So you want to take, I'm cutting in half. You cut they don't have to be precise, but you want to make sure everything is kind of the same size, roughly, chop it roughly. And what I'm doing with it, I'm just using the white and the green, doesn't matter. Put it in the water. Okay, so this is about a 6-quart stock pot. Try to use filter water, that's better, So I'm just gonna start with this. Okay, so we're gonna add the garlic. The way that I like to do my stock is to make it small batches, I think when you do a bigger batches, I think you lose the integrity and the flavor of the stock. So we started with the leek. We're gonna add some garlic inside. You don't want too much, but I will say I'm gonna take 2 cloves of garlic, You want to take the skin out. And you know what I love to do is, your hand's going to smell like garlic, so I just put just a little bit of lemon on my hand. Just wash it like this. It smells so good, and it can kind of take the smell of the garlic a little bit out. Once again, you still want your area to be clean. So let it simmer for maybe 15 minutes. You can add a little bit of parsley to it. And the reason why we're making a stock, that stock's gonna allow us to blanch the asparagus, but also I like to blanch my asparagus in something that is flavorful. You don't have to throw out the stock after that. You can use that stock to make soup or broth or add it to rice, and it's delicious. So you wait another few minutes, and then at the end, you can add a little bit of thyme. It's important to add kind of the thyme at the end. Thyme can get quite a bitter taste to it. So you just want to be careful how much you add, and then you let it simmer for about 10 minutes, and then we can wait and get the flavor out. I'm going to show you how to peel the asparagus. So here we have beautiful asparagus. Once again, this is a seasonal vegetable. You might ask me, well, I see asparagus, 365 days a year at the market. Well, if you see that, this is not a good asparagus because it's seasonal. So it's a spring asparagus. Sometimes they come earlier, sometimes they come later, depending on the weather, but this is a spring vegetable. So what you want to do is to cut the bottom, the end of the stalk here, because it's kind of a lot of fiber. What you want to do with it, you just put here, the stalk, that's it, don't waste it. And then you want to peel it. So you use the peeler that we talked about earlier, and you want to be very delicate with this. You know, a lot of people will eat this with the skin on. Personally, I don't really like it. I think it's bringing a little bit of bitterness. So you want to be gentle when you peel the asparagus. You hold the asparagus on the tip so you don't crush it, and then lightly you just go around, keeping the shape of asparagus. I will say you undress the asparagus. This is, you take the dress out. So you don't want to go too deep, okay? You're just kissing the asparagus with your shaver. Yeah. And when you can see, you know, the beauty of this vegetable is when you take away the layering of it, it's just a beautiful green, and you know that your asparagus is amazing and good quality. Because it needs to be green and crispy. If you have asparagus is like, you peel it and it's dark, then you might not want to use it. And what I'm just trying to bring to the forefront, it's a narrative that when you cook, you need to think before cooking. So you need to pay attention of the ingredient that you're using. And when you have the best ingredient, then you can do the best cooking. And those techniques will definitely enhance your dishes. So what you want to do is to kind of try to test your stock to see if it's the flavors are there. I didn't put any lemon, if you notice yet. Smell it. A little bit of leek, parsley, thyme, a touch of garlic. This is perfect. So what we want to do here is to strain it first, to take everything out, and then we're going to blanch the asparagus. All right, so I am going to strain everything inside. You don't have to discard this. You can reuse that when you do a soup, which is great. You might want to take the thyme out because that might be a little bit bitter, but this is a great way to reuse things. Okay, so when you take everything out, you can look at the color of the stock, and it's kind of a green yellow, and it's a beautiful light court bouillon. A court bouillon is a quickly cooked, flavorful stock used to poach ingredients. This is what you want. If your stock is too strong, then I think you cook it too much, and there's going to be too much bitterness to it. So what I do also now, I'm just going to add a touch of lemon inside, just 2 slices of lemon. It's okay if you keep the seed inside. And then just turn it around. And maybe, and we're going to wait for the court bouillon to kind of get to a boiling stage. Getting ready for my ice bath. When you blanch the asparagus, which is going to take about 30 seconds, what the ice water is going to do is going to stop the cooking, and it's going to keep the brightness and obviously all the vitamin, but all the beautiful taste of the asparagus inside. If you don't do this, the asparagus might cook too long, you know. That's gonna help you to get the perfect dish instead of getting a mushy asparagus dish. Okay, so we're gonna blanch the asparagus about 30 seconds. If you can set up a 30-second, 20 to 30-second timer, that will help you to understand. So I'm just gonna let me inside. Yeah, I'm gonna do it that after. And then I like to salt the water, but kind of, you see, I didn't salt the water at the beginning because I didn't want to cook the salt inside of the stock. I like to do it at the end. I think it's about like 10, 20 seconds already. So you just get you a paring knife. You don't want this to be mushy, but you want this to be kind of still a little crunch, you know, texture. And I can tell you, I can show you here. Up. It's perfect. So we are gonna take those babies out of the water, gently, obviously. And put them in. And you want to keep them in the ice water, so you just want to turn it around. Just keep it in the ice water the same amount of time as you blanch it. So 30 seconds, 30 seconds. Okay, so I'm gonna get some paper towel here, and then you want to get them out and get as much of, you know, water out and let it sit for a second. Look at beautiful. I mean, this is, you have the beautiful green. This is gonna be crispy, you know, it's gonna crack in your mouth. We're gonna grill it. It's not gonna be mushy, it's gonna be delicious. Now we're gonna move to the next step. We have to make the crème fraîche. What we're gonna do with this later on, you can grill it. So get your crème fraîche. Okay, now we're gonna get to the crème fraîche. Crème fraîche, a lot of fat. The beautiful flavor of asparagus often go very well with anything that is fat. You know, you can serve that with beautiful mayonnaise. You can serve that with a beautiful béarnaise, hollandaise. You know, I'm sure that it's something that you might know. And then for me, it's just very simple. Grilled asparagus and crème fraîche, and that's all it is. So get your crème fraîche, a little bit of lemon. Just you want to get the lemon, then you kind of want to incorporate that gently. And once again, you know, it's really, it depends on your taste. You might want to have something a little bit more acidic. I like acidity a lot. And to balance, you know, fat, often you need to add a lot of acidity. And then a touch of salt, maybe 2 touches of salt. A little bit of pepper. I'm added to this. Then you test it. And then what I like to do is to add lemon zest to it at the end. This is delicious. When I do zest, I love the microplane because it gives you a very thin and beautiful zest. You know, just get the skin, not the white part of it, which is bitter often. And then you just kind of like, just mix it and just let it sit for a second. It's going to be a beautiful add to layer the flavor of the beautiful asparagus that we're going to grill. Okay, so in the meantime, we're going to grill the asparagus. You know, this is blanched properly, so it just dry out properly. Obviously, you know how much I love grilling things. We're going to do it on ibashi grill, which is a Japanese grill. It's going to add a nice sharp flavor. It's going to add another layer of also deliciousness to it. You might ask me, can I use something else? If I don't have a grill, I will say yes. You could saute it. You can also grill it on a regular grill, not high fire, but like maybe on the side, so you get a little bit of char and smokiness. So I grilled this, and this is exactly how it should look. The asparagus will be a beautiful bright green and have a slight char from the grill. They will be firm for a nice crunch and not mushy. I love white pepper, and sometimes I like to put the white pepper at the end after using a little bit of black pepper, but that's just my own liking, so I'm just putting just a tiny white pepper to my beautiful crème fraîche, add it to it. I just want to test it again. Oh, this is really delicious. And then what I want to do is kind of to season the asparagus. Touch of lemon on it. A little bit of olive oil that I'm gonna brush it. I like to brush it because you just control how much olive oil I'm putting on it. Then I'm gonna do a little bit more zest here. Okay, this is beautiful. And then we are gonna let this marinate just a tiny, just to get the flavor. And then we're gonna do some raw asparagus. The mandolin is one of my favorite equipment and tool to use. Yet, I just want to be very clear, this is, that could be dangerous. You can really hurt yourself. When you get mandolin, it comes from with a plastic attachment that allow you to go in without touching it. You can also wear gloves that will allow to be maybe safer. Once again, what I'm doing is something that you need to get used to. So what I will recommend, just follow the instruction when you get a mandolin, and don't try to rush it, you know, otherwise you're gonna cut yourself. So once again, when you put the pressure, you don't want to be too strong on it. And remember, you don't have to shave all of it. The leftover can be used in a stock, and then you can get another one so to get the perfect slice to it. Yeah, you just have to apply equal pressure, and then you're gonna see it's coming down here, and it's exactly what you want, you know. That's what you want. Okay, so you do a few of them, and then we're gonna make a salad out of it. Okay, so after you chef them, so there's a little bit of trick. You want to kind of like the feeling of a curliness to it, so you put it on ice water. It's gonna curl, and it's gonna help you maybe to build the dish and the form of the dish that you want. But make sure that you take the excess water on a piece of just a towel, and then when it's done with it, then you can season it the way you want. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put a little bit of black pepper, because I love black pepper, a little bit of salt, how much I love lemon, just a touch of it, a touch of just olive oil. Once again, you can put anything you want. If you want to add vinegar to it, you can. If you don't want to add anything, and then you just mix them, you know, a little bit. Okay, so we have the curl asparagus. We have the grilled asparagus. And now maybe we can really build the dish. What I love with asparagus is onion. I love to use garlic flowers or anything to get a little bit of allium taste to it. That's going to balance also the fat of the crème fraîche. It's when you build a dish, you have to, it's like almost walking through life, you know? All the layering of life that you love and that you feel needs to get into your food. So it's not just one dimension, it's a lot of different dimensions. And it's a very easy dish. So what I like to do is to put in the bottom the fat. So when you get a bite of the asparagus, you get the asparagus, you dip into the fat and you just put it in your mouth and it's just delicious. So I kind of like to go in the middle of the plate. Just kind of a bit of sexiness to it. Go. We are just putting one by one. And this is a very easy dish to do, but it's also very delicious, you know, and it just takes the asparagus, I believe, to the next level of cooking, you know, but it allows you also to think that asparagus don't have to be sauté or just add to some type of mixed vegetable. You can really eat it on your own, you know. I'm also gonna use garlic flowers. It's strong, it's delicious, but you don't want to put it too much on the dish, so just enough to bring the beauty of it. And whatever the way that you want to plate it, just very organically. Add a little bit more olive oil at the end. Voila. So that's grilled asparagus with crème fraîche. Okay, so now I'm gonna test it. It looks amazing. You know what comes to mind? I love this dish. And it can be followed by grill or some mushroom or something that is healthy also. It goes also very well with tomato, you know, so you can have this dish first, you can add the tomato, you can add the mushroom after, even the cabbage. Once again, it's one of those dishes that is very versatile that you can serve as an entree. We say an entree in France, which has appetizer in America. So it's just delicious. So let's try it. Let's test it. Kind of like to cut my asparagus, you know, and then kind of go in the crème fraîche, a little bit of It's crunchy, it's smoky, it's sharp, it's clean, it's fresh. There's a little bit of the fat of the crème fraîche that just kind of balance the acidity and the kind of the shard of the asparagus. Once again, it's all about texture and all the things that balance every dishes from grill, smokiness, a little bit of fat, acidity. You really taste what an asparagus should taste. It's a heaven in my mouth. Come with me and look into the Orient light. Okay, so for the Sunday dinner, at home back in France, my grandmother and my mother used to make this dish, kind of a hachis parmentier. It's a classic French comfort food prepared with potatoes. Hachis parmentier was made with meat. I'm going to show you a version of it with just vegetable. It's comfort food and it's easy to do. It's just potato puree, different type of vegetable, seasonal vegetable that you just cook down, bake in the oven with a little bit of cheese and coming out, and this is just heaven in your mouth. So we're gonna cook the potato. So any type of potato I like to use, you can use the Yukon Gold. You wanna always to start with cold water. And you don't wanna overcook it. So the trick with potato is you can take a knife. I'm gonna take some out of the water. So the texture that you're looking for, using my tweezer here, you just go inside. It's soft. Yes, it's still kind of old a little bit, so you know this is perfectly. If suddenly you put your knife or tweezer into the potato and it's just falling apart, it's totally overcooked. So I think the potato is very well cooked right now. So I'm gonna turn that down. And we are gonna start the process of make a potato puree. So what do I have here? I have some room temperature butter. I have some warm milk here that I warm up. You can season it the way you want to season it. Some will add some garlic or any type of herb in it. I didn't add anything. I want to keep it very clean because I want kind of the vegetable to shine through the mashed potato. So first, we are going to use a ricer that will rice the potato. A ricer helps smooth the potato by forcing it through a sheet of small holes the size of rice grains. And I'm gonna show you how to make the best mashed potato. You wanna make sure that there is no water on the cooked potatoes. So just make sure you really drain the water. See, there is still a little bit of the water you don't want that. I think we're good here. Put it in your ricer. And we're gonna do this in stages. So you start to rice. And what I like to do, I'm gonna add a little bit of butter to it. And I'm just gonna incorporate the butter with ricing the potato. Okay, this is beautiful. I'm gonna just add a little bit more here. Ricing. It's good also for your muscle. This is your workout of the day. You can do that with your kid. Nobody's gonna get hurt. I think it's kind of fun. Then I'm just keep adding the butter here. Once again, the butter needs to be room temperature. The butter can't be too cold or can't be too mushy, okay? So you're just pushing down. What is also good with the parmentier that we're gonna make, you can make it the day before and put it in the oven the day after. This is delicious also. All right, so you just want to get that goodness out. Could be messy, but it's okay. Cooking sometimes is messy, okay? So now what you want to do is kind of to add the milk to it. You don't want to add too much at one time, otherwise it's going to be a little bit too liquidy, and that's not what you want, so just add a little bit. What you notice, I didn't season my potato yet. I'm gonna wait for a second. This is kind of the texture that you want. Bit of salt. You can put white pepper. You can add black pepper. I'm gonna put white pepper because I kind of like white pepper with my mashed potato. So I want this to be a little bit finer. There's a little of a trick. We are gonna put it through a tammy. We're gonna get through it and it's gonna be just a luxurious mashed potato. So what you wanna do is just kind of like put it through. So anything that is maybe clummy is gonna just go through it and it's gonna be perfect. We are using just a pastry spatula, which is easy to find. Let me see here what we have here. So you want to scrape it. See, this is really beautiful and smooth. All right, you have two different type of texture of potato, so you can use both of them, but I like the last one because it's much more finer, little bit greeny here, but it's also great. And also you can use potato ricer, which is fine. So I just want to kind of to show you there is two ways that you can do it. This is a little bit more luxurious. That's what I think. But once again, this is your cooking. This is not my cooking. The second step of the vegetable parmentier is the vegetable. Use a seasonal vegetable. Right now I have onion, carrot, and zucchini. You in the winter time, you can use celery root, butternut squash. Make sure you have always a little bit of onion. You don't have to have carrot, but you could. And the importance of those vegetables is to cook them separately. So you have to cook the carrot first, then you cook also separately the onion, then you cook the zucchini because they have different way of cooking. What you see here after they cook, we put them back together in a pan and get them hot. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna deglaze them with a vegetable stock. This vegetable stock is similar to the one we made in the asparagus chapter. And what I did with it, I kind of did the same process, but I add a little bit of celery, a carrot to it, maybe more aromatic to make it a little bit stronger. So once again, you know, a vegetable stock is kind of, you can use the base and then you can add to it. So I think it's so easy to make it. You have scrap of vegetable, just start to make a little bit of a stock and then you can keep it, you can freeze it. It's nice to do things from the scratch. So we're gonna deglaze it, is mean that you're gonna put liquid in to a hot pan and you wanna reduce it so the vegetable can absorb the beautiful flavor of this stock. I'm gonna So the reason why we also cook them separately, because this is extremely important to see the texture of each vegetable. And when we put them together, they will absorb the same way the liquid, the stock, without overcooking. So what you see here, you want to evaporate literally liquid, but not all of it. You just don't want this to stick to the pan either. Okay, this is great. So I'm going to show you how to build the parmentier. You can get individual baking pot if you want, a serving. If you don't want to get individual, you can just have a beautiful baking a pan that you can bake in the oven. We want to batter this so it doesn't stick to it. Just take some batter. And then a brush is very easy. All right, so we're gonna build this. Your pan is battered. You just put one layer. So you can do it in two different ways. I'm gonna do one, just vegetable and mashed potato and cheese, and the other one we can do vegetable, mashed potato, vegetable, and mashed potato and cheese. So I'm going to show you how to do both. So you want to kind of have enough space to put the mashed potato. This one we're going to do 2 layers in. It's kind of fun. So when you get into it, you just see the layer. I love to do that too. And the beautiful mashed potato that we have earlier. Nice. It needs to be room temperature. You can't put them back in the fridge. It's not gonna be good otherwise. So the first one, we're just doing one layer. Okay. Just kind of fill every little hole here. Okay. The second one, we're gonna do a little bit more work. We're gonna do a layer here. Push it down. Okay, we're gonna add a little bit more vegetable. I mean, maybe the second one is a good idea if you want your kids to eat more vegetable. You just do that. You just do this trick. It's a lot of fun. They're not gonna understand it, but they're gonna love it. And you being a good mom or a good dad. Okay, so now you're covering it. Okay, beautiful. Okay, maybe let's be more here. And then we are going to add some cheese. So I grew up with a lot of different cheeses in France. The best cheeses that I think that go well are kind of Alpine cheeses. Alpine cheeses are semi-firm to hard cheeses made from cow milk with minimal salt, like Conte cheese. But you can use whatever cheese you want. You will say Conte cheese, Gruyere is great. So it's kind of a hard cheese with kind of a lot of fat. It's kind of nutty, it's delicious. You can put any cheese you want. You can add some goat cheese if you want, some sheep cheese also. So it's really up to you, but I like to use the Comté cheese. This is one of my favorites. It's a cheese from France with a battery hazelnut flavor. And you want to cover it, It's okay if you get messy. This is not about perfection here. It's about deliciousness and a lot of umami here. Okay, this is beautiful. So now we're gonna go to the oven to bake this to the oven, 350 to 375 for about 15 to 20 minutes. So if you have a broil, you can finish it at the last minute and kind of, I would say, gratinate the cheese on top. So it's really up to you. Wow, that smell of cheese gratin is just amazing. So here you have about 15, 20 minutes it took. We have this beautiful vegetable parmentier. This dish literally can stand on its own. Literally can be just Sunday dinner, or if you want to do a smaller portion, you can add it to a salad or other things. So this is a really delicious and very comfortable and comfort food dish. Let's test this beauty, seasonal vegetable parmentier. Ooh, take me back to my childhood. Love it. I'm gonna do a little bit of Wow, the cheese is amazing. I can still taste the vegetable. There's a little bit of crunchiness. And once again, that's what you want. This is really a good dish with your friend, with your family. This is comfort food at its best. You're not gonna mess it up. You just put the vegetable, the puree on top of it. So just don't be afraid to make this, but be creative, but respect the season. And then it's gonna be a winner. The taste we chase every summer will last until the winter. Cabbage is often, I would say, the black sheep of the family. It's used as kind of a secondary ingredient in coleslaw or maybe a salad of iceberg lettuce. Cabbage is one of the most underestimated ingredients, I think, in the world. The reason why I love cabbage, because it's one of the staple ingredient in Brittany, where I grew up, and I love it. My mom and my grandmother use in the cooking as the queen of the dish. It's very versatile, but it's also delicious. So I want to show you a way to enjoy it as a main dish. And you don't need anything else, you just want to have the cabbage. I'm going to show you how to make a beautiful roasted cabbage with sauerkraut, pickled mustard seed, parsley, oil, and a cream sauce. The cabbage will always be the queen. So here we're gonna use a Savoy cabbage. I love the texture, I love the firmness of it, I love the way that it cooks, but I love also the taste of it. It's become very popular here in America. You can see it at the farmer market. If you don't like Savoy, you can use Napa cabbage or any other kind of cabbage. We're gonna show you two different techniques, which is kind of interesting. One is a roasted technique, so roast a cabbage, and then the fermentation. So we're gonna do a take on the sauerkraut, the choucroute in French. It's fermenting cabbage for about 2 weeks, just with salt. Very easy to do. So this is what we're gonna show you. First, we get a pan, just get some grapeseed oil. Grapeseed oil is great to cook high heat. Some people use olive oil, but I don't really like to do it when it's really, really high heat. So grapeseed oil is very also, there's no taste to it. So you want this to warm and get hot. So the shimmering of the oil in the pan telling you that the oil is hot. So what you want to do, you kind of want to move away from the heat right now, and we are going to place cabbage. So I quarter the cabbage, and I'm going to use half for searing, and then the other half later on for the sauerkraut. You don't have to do everything all together. I like to cook my cabbage in stages. If I have a lot of cabbage, I take one pan, and then I start again with another pan. So what you're looking for here is color. No burning, but color. You want this, you're searing it. I'm gonna add a little bit of aromatic to it. The thyme and the garlic in the oil, and it's gonna flavor the oil. And then we're gonna start to baste it a little bit. The basting will cook a bit of the cabbage, but lightly on the outside. Often the basting is done with butter. Here we have just oil. And so you want to check, oh yeah. The oil is very much flavored with the thyme and the garlic. It's getting integrated into the cooking of the cabbage. You know, what I like to do is to get color and turn it about 2 or 3 times. And then when you have a nice sear, finish it in the oven. So I'm adding a little bit more oil to it. I'm putting fresh thyme on this. That's the color that you want, and then we're gonna finish it in the oven 30 minutes at 325. Depends also on how big the cabbage. Every 10 minutes, you might want to check. It might take less, it might take more. You want this to be cooked all the way, not mushy, but cooked all the way. So here we have the leftover of the cabbage. What we did is kind of slice them. It's called a julienne.
Julienne just means to cut vegetables into thin, long strips.
What we're gonna do here, we're gonna salt it and we're gonna ferment that. And so the first things you need to do is to make sure you wear gloves. When you ferment things, you wanna make sure you keep it clean. You don't bring anything else from the outside. It could affect your fermentation, your process. Okay, so when you ferment vegetable or anything, you gotta weigh first your product, and then depending on the weight, then you gotta add your salt. So to ferment just with salt is about 2.5% of the weight. Okay, we're gonna weight it so. Okay, we have about 75 grams of cabbage. So going back, and then we weighted the salt earlier. And so this is what you want to add. You use kosher salt, definitely not table salt. And then what you want to do, you want to massage it for about 10 minutes. You want to really to bring the moisture out. That's what's going to create the brine and ferment the cabbage. What I did earlier when I put the cabbage inside of the oven, I don't know if you noticed, but I didn't put salt because I didn't want to take the moisture out. I wanted this to roast very naturally, and I will add the salt later on. So the process that we're going to do here is called lacto fermentation, with base of salt and the product only. It's going to create an environment where mold is not going to grow in a tight pot. And then what is beautiful about this ancient technique is allow you to preserve so many things, so many products in your pantry that literally you can use all year long. This is not new. This is done since the beginning of time. You have different culture. I mean, Korea would be, I would say, kimchi. You have the sauerkraut in the east part of France, Germany. But I think every kind of culture have a area of fermentation of things. So I think you can see it. It's like the moisture is coming out. All right, so I think we're ready to pack it in the pot. And it's going to take about 2 weeks. Put it in an area where it's not hot, where it's not cold. So what I love about those crop, which is, I think you can find those pretty much everywhere, but it doesn't allow the light to come in, and this is not what you want. You don't want any light. So if you can't find those type of pot, what I will recommend, maybe a glass jar, that will work also. Personally, I don't recommend putting in a plastic, but that will be my two options. So any terracotta, glass jar, or anything like that you have around, that will definitely work. So here, we just put everything. I think it's very important to weigh everything down. So what I'm using is really, just a glass cylinder that kind of under. You can buy fermentation tool, but I think if you have something with glass or anything rock, you can really weight that down, which is important. That will allow also kind of the liquid to come out and to really nicely ferment it. And then you close it. Make sure it's sealed properly, and then you put it in an area which is not hot. 55 to maybe 65 degrees would be perfect. Check in every, couple of days to make sure that everything is still, wetted down, that there is nothing that is foreign to it. You pay attention, like you pay attention to your cooking, you're gonna have an amazing result. And this is your way of doing sauerkraut. Voila. Let's see how this baby is 2 weeks later. Okay. Ooh, that looks really, really good. Okay, let's get those. Ooh, what I'm seeing is like you can see the fermentation, the wilt of the cabbage with the salt and ferment. The color got a little bit darker. If you open this pot, literally, and then if you see mold all over the place, you know there is something that went wrong. So you know you can't see any other color than the beautiful color of this fermented cabbage. Yes, it's really cooked all the way and fermented. Now just let's test. That's beautiful. That's what you're looking for. Look like sauerkraut, basically. And then you want to test it. Oh, fermentation, taste, crispy. This is what you need to have. I'm going to show you how to make parsley oil.
We are going to use this parsley oil in a cream sauce when we plate the cabbage.
And I really love this technique for a lot of reasons. To preserve herbs, maybe you have leftover herbs in your fridge. This technique makes some beautiful, delicious oil that also help to layering the flavor or any dish that we do, especially the one today. So the best way to do it is really to get a Vitamix. Vitamix will help you to heat up the oil. You can do it in a blender, but it might not be as beautiful that you want. So what I do first, I'm using grapeseed oil, putting a little bit inside, just adding the parsley to it, which is Italian parsley, by the way. You think I'm putting a lot of herbs right now, but this is super important to the final product and the color of the oil that you want. So I started with a little bit oil on the bottom. I'm gonna add it, even more. Okay, everything. Just add a little bit more here. And I'm gonna blend it. So what's important, you get to start it very slow, and then you just go at a higher speed. Okay, I think it's, we're gonna make sure it's blending properly. Look at that color, beautiful. At the beginning, you saw kind of a mixture of oil and chunk of like kind of herbs. Now we can emulsify everything together, and you see that it's going to be separating, and this is what you want to make the beautiful oil. So what we're going to do, we're going to take this, and then we are going to strain it through a cheesecloth, and we're going to create the oil. This is exactly what you're looking for, a beautiful, dark, but bright green that's just gonna help you to season anything. And once again, this is not just to use the herbs, it's also to preserve. So look at this beautiful texture of all. Color is, it's just a beautiful green. There is a little bit of thickness to it, and this is what you want. And the flavor is so concentrated in it, is gonna add to any sauce that you make just a deliciousness. So this is what we're gonna use to finish the dish with the cabbage. Okay, I'm gonna show you how to make pickled mustard seed.
These pickled mustard seeds will be used as a dressing to provide a crunchy texture to the cabbage dish.
So mustard seed, the rawness of it is very bitter. So first you start with a cold water, and then you add your mustard seed to it. Get back to a little bit of boiling, and then simmer it for 4 or 5 minutes. Strain it. You want to take that bitterness out. So the way you do it, blanch the seed about 10 to 20 times. Start it again, strain it, start it again. So this is a process that's going to really allow you to take the bitterness. So be patient and don't be intimidated with it. So you want to keep testing the mustard seed. What you're looking for is a softer texture and kind of no more bitterness. And when you have that, then you know this is blanched properly. Here, this is kind of the result that you have, and so you can see it's soft. Once again, I'm going to test it again. Softer. Of course, you want to keep a little bit of crunchiness. The bitterness kind of got out just a little bit, but that's it. That's good because it's going to balance with the pickling. So what we're going to do, we're going to start the pickle liquid, and then we're going to add the mustard seed inside and let it cook together so it absorbs all the pickling and let it sit. That's really easy. So first, I'm using a couple of vinegar, champagne vinegar and cherry vinegar. You can use any vinegar you want. I will not recommend balsamic vinegar, but apple vinegar, rice vinegar, red wine vinegar also. So you want to start with the vinegar. And there is not really any specific on recipe. You will have a recipe with some measurement, yet it's really up to you. If you want to put more salt, less sugar, we have some salt and we have some sugar. You kind of want to dilute, which is important. You want to dilute the salt and the sugar inside of the vinegar. So you kind of melt, you want to melt and dilute everything. Okay, this is good. And then you can start to add your mustard seed to it. And what we're going to do, we're going to simmer until everything is absorbed into the seed. All right, so let it simmer. So the result of it is this beautiful brown, kind of brownish color. I recommend that you always have to test. See, there is still a little bit of liquid, which is still marinating, which is great. There's absolutely no bitterness, but it's crunchy a little bit, and it's sweet, yet is a little bit acidic, and it's delicious. You can put it in sauces, in vinaigrette. This is really like, for me, this is very essential to my pantry, but it's also something that you can keep for a long time in your fridge, and people love it. All right, so let's finish the dish here. So we have a sauerkraut right now. I'm gonna cook it down and season it. So it's gonna be warm. Get a pan, you get just a bit of your sauerkraut here. And the way that I'm warm that up very easily with just a little bit of butter. Obviously, if you like butter, it's just you can warm it up with a little bit of juice of the sauerkraut. That's it, salt and pepper. But I like to add a little bit of butter to mine. I'm just adding really a little bit richness to it. And then just look beautiful and shiny. And I just love sauerkraut and butter. It's one of my favorite things to eat. You don't want to like overcook it, but you just warm it up and just can incorporate the butter and the fat to it. So I put a high heat right now, but I'm gonna go back to a lower heat because you don't wanna over burn it or cook it. I can see the aroma coming out. You wanna kind of simmer it. So I'm gonna move this to the back of the stove to let it cook and simmer for seconds. In the meantime, when this is simmering, I'm going to start to do the sauce. So going back to the stove, what I'm going to be using the best of the sauce, going to be the fermented juice of the cabbage, which is going to add a beautiful texture to the sauce and flavor. So you want to reduce that down a little bit over about medium heat. Obviously, you can test it. It's delicious. I love it. It tastes cabbage, fermented cabbage is delicious. What we're going to do to it, we're going to add a little bit of crème fraîche to it. To make a sauce, we're going to make a kind of crème fraîche sauce and add the beautiful parsley oil that we have before. So I think it's going here. So you want to add the crème fraîche. And then you want to incorporate the crème fraîche inside of the liquid. As much as you want. It's going to bring, so you get the acidity and the fermentation of this liquid. You're adding some fat to it. Be more. This is a sauce that you also can keep for like a few days in your fridge. You can reuse it. Little bit of salt. You can just toast it in vegetable, even with rice. You can season your soup with it. I like to add a little bit of touch of sherry vinegar to it. And then just a touch of lemon. Okay. This is beautiful. You don't want this to be too hot. This is a sauce that's gonna kiss the cabbage, and the creaminess don't have to be too hot, just like warm, and it's just gonna be beautiful. All right, so I think you're done. Just let it sit for a second. It's gonna come together. And we're gonna test this here. The cabbage is cooked. This is delicious. A little bit of pepper, a touch of lemon. And I really think that we are good to go here. What I'm gonna do now, I have everything ready to go. I'm gonna pull out my cabbage from the oven. All right, so final plating. Everything is done. The mise en place is perfect. We are going to plate the dish. Look at those beautiful cabbage. This is really the texture you want. Not too soft. There's still a little bit of crunchiness, but it's roasted perfectly. It smells so good. So what I'm gonna do first, I am gonna be adding this beautiful parsley oil to my sauce. And that's gonna create the sauce that I'm gonna pour over. Here we go, here. So first, we are gonna take the one that I love here. This one. This is beautiful. I like this one a lot. Ooh, this is pretty. This is hot. Don't want to burn yourself. Make sure that you have towel to make sure that you don't burn yourself. Okay. I'm going to put a little bit of sauerkraut just on the side to just kiss the beautiful roasted cabbage that we have. And then I'm going to be adding the beautiful pickle. Just a little bit. Not too much, but enough so you have this pickled mustard that will be delicious with the sauerkraut and the roasted cabbage. And then finally, you want to add this beautiful you can add as much sauce that you want. Maybe when you plate the dish, just add it just a little bit and then keep that on the side. So voila. So as you see, you don't want to put too much sauce on any food that you cook. The sauce is to enhance perhaps and bring the dish to the next level, but you don't want to cover all those flavors that are just beautiful. So let's get into it. It just looks so amazing. I like to do with the spoon because I'm gonna get the spoon into the sauce with everything. I guess ready. The roasting of the cabbage, I can taste that. The beautiful pickling mustard seed just bring the cabbage to the next level. Then the fermented cabbage with the sauce, the creamy sauce and the parsley oil. This dish, it's all about vegetable, but it's so meaty that could be just served on its own. Also, we can serve that at the end with cheese, That would be the perfect meal. Wow, this is really good. For the verdant bounty of the gatherer's harvest in caring hands. Okay, so as you know, I'm French, and cheese, fromage is something that I grew up with. This is a part of my culture, it's a part of my DNA. I want to show you a way to enjoy it in a different way that perhaps you are used to. When I came to America, I was a little bit confused about eating, salad and cheese sometime at the beginning of the meal, when in France, the cheese is just this beautiful creaminess that end the meal often. So I'm going to show you a way, more like a modern way to do it. In this chapter, we will make a cheese sauce on the stove, whip and refrigerate the mixture until it turns into a mousse, then cut and style lettuce. So today, the cheese that I'm using is semi-soft cow milk, slightly aged with a rum. It has a lot of taste to it. It's not too difficult to the palate, but there is a sense of a texture and also a flavor that is absolutely delicious. You're looking for something that is not too hard, but it's not too soft, because it's going to help you to emulsify. If it's too soft, then you're going to have cream on cream. If it's too hard, then it's not going to emulsify properly. So semi-soft cheese is the best cheese to use. This is a cheese we got personally from a farmer that we've been working with for many years outside of San Francisco. Once again, You can go to the farmer market, go to a creamery and ask them questions. Try to find something that is not as commercial that you can find on every shelf in every market. Just find something that it's made maybe locally or maybe very close to where you live, but you know where the cheese is made and you understand the story and the making of it. You can use sheep milk, you can use goat milk, and if you get this texture, then it's a winner. So it's up to you liking to do that. But you could do this with vegan cheese and with nut milk. So the way you start, you get a pan, you add your milk. Once again, we're not gonna cook it high heat, but you wanna warm that up and you wanna incorporate your cheese into it. So milk first, and then a little bit of cream just to get the texture, and then you let that kind of get to a point of simmering. Make sure you whisk it so it doesn't scorch together. You just whisk it, and you just want to make sure that you don't over boil it because it's not going to be good. And when they start to be warm, what I do, I just add the cheese to it and kind of incorporate the cheese into the milk and cream mixture. Can see the milk getting really, really hot. So I am taking that out of the heat, and then I'm gonna add everything in right now. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna start to blend it little by little so we can have paste to it. So I think it's getting soft to it. Okay, so now we're gonna bring it to, and what you're gonna do, you don't wanna like bring everything together and blend it. Just, be patient. If you want your cooking, be patient. So you're dealing with cream and milk and fat, so you don't wanna break that too fast. So what do you want? So just little by little, we're gonna just add a little bit of cream and the cheese, and then we're gonna start to maybe emulsify it. Okay, this is your base here. And then now you can start maybe to add half of it. Keep going. It's hot, so I'm gonna start slow and then you can go up, okay? And now you just add the rest of it. So once again, you have to be aware that the cheese that I'm using, that might not be the cheese that you're using. So you're gonna have to add more milk or more cream to get the right texture. And if it's too thin, just add a little bit more cream, not milk. The cream is gonna add a little bit of density of what you're looking for. So it's mixing together. And you want to emulsify everything together, so basically you're working with fat, literally. So we are gonna bring it into a bowl and we're gonna put it in the fridge, let it sit for a few hours, and then we're gonna finish it and whisk it. Look at this beautiful cream here. Once again, you might want to season it, so I kind of like to do a little bit of salt and then a little bit of pepper, why not? So it's liquid, but it's the cheese being emulsified with the cream and the milk. So what we're doing here, we're gonna take this and put it in the fridge for about 2 hours, and then bring it back here, whip it, and then start to build the salad and the cheese. Okay, so we have the cheese right now. It was in the fridge. You can see it's hardened. It's beautiful flavors. You want to make sure it's completely cold. Taste it. Very creamy, delicious. So what we want to do here, we want to mix it, and we want to whip it, and we will put it in a pastry bag just to be able to plate it the way I want to plate it. So the reason why I love to mix, the cheese, aerate the cheese and make it a little bit lighter. So here, I think you don't want to do it too much, otherwise you're going to make batter. So I think this is really nice now. And you just put it in a pastry bag. It's going to allow you to create the form on the plate the way you want it. Okay. So once again, we like to control the way that we plate, and I think the piping bag can help you to do that. So you can take the back of your knife and just push it down. I think we are good. Okay. Just close it, put it on the side. So that's it. So now we're gonna get into the salad. We are very lucky. In San Francisco, we have our own farm, so we have our own lettuce. Make sure that you don't get lettuce, out of the bag, or just go to the farmer market. If I'm not on the farm, I usually go get the lettuce to the farmer market. The reason why, because I know it's seasonal. I know it just got picked. This is really good. You can take them out. You can do a lot of things with those. You can even grill them. When you go to the supermarket, don't buy the one that are in boxes. If you see the fresh one, get those. Otherwise, go to the farmer market. All right. Eat your lettuce, always. You can have different type of lettuce. Some are crunchy, so are more bitter than other, and it's nice with the cheese because it's going to create this cheese and lettuce together, but the lettuce is going to bring the dish together with kind of cutting the fat out. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to have fun with my lettuce. I like to punch them with my little cookie cutter, so just to make it nice. So what I like to use is a seal pad.
And a seal pad is a non-stick baking mat.
Whatever, when you cook cookie, I think you use some of those and allow you to not damage the lettuce when you cut it. So just nicely making some cutting. See how beautiful it is? So do like few of those. And once again, the leftover can add to, a dressing, or never throw anything out. If you have pets, we have chicken, we give them the leftover lettuce. They love it. Okay, so I'm gonna do 3 of those. We have some type of chicory frisee here. You can do it by hand, for, I just want to cut them because we're going to plate in the cheese in the small bowl. So just want to do it nicely here, just to get a beautiful, just cut them in a kind of a natural shape to it. You can do it with your hand. It's nice to do this. And then I like this lettuce a lot. It's beautiful. You can be creative the way you want to cut the lettuce. If you might want to just, do julienne or whatever you want to do with it. Doesn't matter. It's a kind of an empty canvas. So once again, be creative, be inspired, and do the things you want to do and things that you think are beautiful for you. Beauty is your beauty. It might not be my beauty, so just be open about it. And then we have some other lettuce here. This is a kind of like curly mustard. It's delicious. It's going to bring a lot of different texture here. So I want to show you how to plate it now. I love to plate it in a bowl that will keep kind of the dish together. It's easy to eat, but it's going to be beautiful. So you just want to cut the tips of this. So what I'm going to do a spiral. So good, so good. And then I'm going to place the lettuce around it. So lettuce can wilt very fast, so if you add a dressing right away, then suddenly they get very soft. They might not be the best. What I like to do, especially with a delicate dish with this, I create a vinaigrette. Any vinaigrette you want to create. So this is literally lemon, a little bit of shallot, olive oil, a touch of vinegar. I love sherry vinegar. And then mix it together. And those spray bottle, you can buy it anywhere, like beauty store, and it's just help you to control how much dressing you putting on this. It's beautiful. You can smell it. And then we're gonna start to plate. So you want to be creative and you want to have fun with it. Of course, you want to bring some color to it. It's like kind of a cheese flower we're making here. Get back here, so for the texture. So you have like crunchy, you have mustard, curly, which is a little bit bitter. You have those beautiful green around that's gonna kind of like cleanse also your palate. And then that's it. All right. And of course, you get a finish with a little bit of sea salt, because we love sea salt. And then voila, this is cheese and salad. I am so excited to test this dish. It's really bring me back to my culture, my childhood, cheese and lettuce. So what you want to do is kind of get the lettuce and the cheese together. Ooh, look at this. Nuttiness, creaminess. Light, delicious. Just a beautiful way to end a meal. You don't need any dessert after that. I mean, this is absolutely delicious, and I hope you enjoy. I was so excited to be able to showcase kind of a modern cuisine and cooking with vegetables. When you cook, just bring yourself to the cooking, bring your creativity, bring your culture, the memory, where you come from, and spices and things that you have eaten through your life. I really hope that those lessons can inspire you to connect better with food and with vegetables. If we can rebalance the way that we eat, the way that we grow, and bring them to the forefront of the core of cooking, it will help a lot with what's going on right now. I'm inviting you to think differently, perhaps, about food. And I hope that I succeeded today. And what I would love to do and to see, it's what your next creation will be. And then we can all cook together and eat vegetables together and definitely better this world to be a much more beautiful world.